going to make a really good impact in the team.
To the Championship, and Southampton moved up to second in place after a 3-1 win at Swansea. It saw them break a club record of 21 games without defeat. Coventry climbed into the playoff places after a 2-1 win at strugglers Sheffield Wednesday. Norwich are 2 points further back in 8th following a 2-0 triumph at home to 5th place West Brom. At the other end, Birmingham are 8 points clear of the relegation zone, having won 2-1 at Stoke for Tony Mowbray's first league victory as boss. To the news now, and Norfolk Police has referred itself to the independent watchdog after saying it didn't respond to a 999 call from the house where 4 people were found dead. Their bodies were discovered at an address in Cossey near Norwich yesterday morning. And the Shadow Foreign Secretary's been heckled by pro-Palestinian protesters as he tried to address the Fabian Society in central London.
Saturday night's all right for fighting.
Oh, it's gone down.
Fight Night Live.
That's how winning is done.
On talkSPORT, the home of boxing.
In recent times, women have led the way in boxing, consistently making the best versus the best fights. Unifications and the crowning of Undisputed has become the norm, which hopefully in 2024 will see the men follow suit. Tonight, a former champion from super featherweight makes her welterweight debut against a champion that is enjoying an Indian summer. The winner will go on to a big unification, but will it be power or guile that win the night? This is Fight Night Live on talkSPORT.
I know. The pound-for-pound fighters, the elite fighting each other, and these are 2 girls that I think are desperate for a big win.
There's no place like home, and Liverpool's home to me, so yeah, she is going to come into the lion's den.
I think there's a little bit more pressure on me to make sure I win those rounds clearly because I'm in her hometown, so if I got to fight in moments, I got to fight.
And MAYER pins her against the rope, left hook, right hook combination.
Natasha Jonas, nice work from the Liverpudlian.
It's not just about the belt. It's not just about becoming a world champion again. It's about challenging myself against the best and having those names on my resume so that I can truly say I'm a pound-for-pound fighter of this era.
Welcome to Liverpool and the M&S Bank Arena for Fight Night Live. First big one of the new year when Natasha Jonas defends her IBF welterweight championship against former featherweight champion MIKAELA MAYER. All set for an absolute classic in the champion's hometown. I'm Adam Catterall. It is a pleasure to be in your company. We are across the talkSPORT network. Not only are we live on talkSPORT this evening, bringing you a couple of absolute humdingers when it comes to fights, we're also live on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. So if you want to get involved with the stream, you're more than welcome to do so. Leave your comments in there. We'll try and pick them up and get you involved with the show at some point. Alongside me, as ever, the one and only Spencer Oliver, who's been residing in Liverpool throughout the whole course of the week, taking in the Baltic weather, running up and down the River Mersey, haven't you, Spence? Getting fully in and fully immersed into the Scouse way of life, getting ready for a big fight night tonight.
Yep, been a good week up here actually. You know, there's a real buzz around town. Natasha Jonas, that fairy tale story that she's had, you know, she was one of those girls that we thought, is she going to do it? Will she ever get there? She had that failed attempt against Terry Harper where they had that controversial draw. She steps up to lightweight and she has that, you know, epic battle with Katie Taylor and hits the post again, just doesn't quite get there. And she jumps up 3 weight divisions 2 years later. Chris Nama's second round KO, and she has not looked back. Now, speaking to her early in the week about this journey that she's been on, and you know, this incredible couple of years really that she's had, where she's now become a 2-weight world champion. You know, I said to her, you know, at the ripe old age of 39, what are your dreams? You know, where do you want to take this now? She was at the open workout when I said this, and she said, you know what this was all about, Spence? This whole journey has been all about. She said that mural that's up on the wall now from my hometown, you know, the kids seeing that, seeing what I've achieved. A single mum of 2, you know, going on this journey. And she said, look around here today, what we've got here today. And there was, you know, there was hundreds of kids there. All, you know, they're all inspired to be Natasha Jonas. You know, she's been an inspirational figure in the city of Liverpool, and that's what she's taken from this. That was the dream, that was always the purpose, and you've got to respect her for that. Lovely girl, Natasha Jonas, been on an incredible journey, and I've got to say, Adam, this is a real 50-50 here. MIKAELA MAYER is a superstar of women's boxing. Forget the fact that she's just come up from super featherweight as well, and people are asking, has she had time to develop? You know, will she have grown into the weight or not? Well, we saw her at the weigh-in yesterday. You saw the size of her, and actually, she looks the bigger, fuller girl of the two. And I think that, you know, jumping up from 130 pounds to 147, you know, I said to her, I said, MIKAELA, how did you ever make 130? She had to lose 4 pounds on the day of the weigh-in yesterday to make 147. And she said, well, listen, you look at my record, 19-1, that controversial draw to Elisa Baumgardner back in 2022. A lot of people felt she won that fight, but I didn't have the strength there then. You know, I didn't carry my full punch power, hence why my record says 19-1 with 5 KOs. Now I'm at 147, I feel bigger, I feel stronger. This is the weight I'm at. I've got to tell you, Catman, this is exciting tonight. This is going to be a real barnstormer.
It is. It's all set for an absolute cracker. IBF Welterweight Championship on the line. We're going to get stuck in to that fight throughout the course of the night. And alongside us, it's an absolute privilege to welcome to the team this evening presenter extraordinaire Ali Drew. Ali, you've been at this game for a long period of time, interviewing the who's who of the world of boxing. Mainly when you started your career, obviously it would have been interviewing the male fighters. How impressed have you been over the last 5 years in particular of how much the female game has kind of now become on par? These girls are setting new records time and time again.
Yeah, thank you for having me as well. But yeah, it's amazing to see the difference between, as you say, pre 5 years ago and post the last 5 years. It is unbelievable what women's boxing has done. The growth in it, the interest in it, and the fact now that they are regularly headlining the shows, but not just headlining any old show. I mean, it's going to be an unbelievable atmosphere in here tonight. We saw it with Katie Taylor and Chantel Cameron, an incredible atmosphere. It was deafening in there. I've actually never experienced that before. And these are women's fights that are headlining, so they're not just doing their own shows, they are headlining big shows and selling out.
Spence, regarding the actual fight this evening, I've been going back and forth of how I think this is actually going to play out. I think stylistically it makes an awful lot of sense for this fight to be taking place this evening. But if we look at both of these ladies' resumes so far, for me, this is the biggest fight of their careers so far. And I know that Natasha's been up to super welter, she's unified the division there, she's back down at 147, she's become a champion there, and she's been in with Katie Taylor and been in with Terry Harper. But when I'm talking about actual wins, getting one over the line, she hasn't got that stellar one on her resume as of yet. And we could say the same maybe for MIKAELA, because the fight against Alicia Baumgardner, we all might have an opinion that she won, but officially she didn't. So tonight is a huge night for both of these girls.
Absolutely. You know, you look at it like you say, you know, they've had careers that have run sort of path by path. They've run sort of parallel. Both Olympians, both failed to medal in those Olympics. Both quite unlucky as well, you know. And then, like you say, the journey that Natasha's been on, MIKAELA, you know, she's been built up really well over in the States. But this is really the coming-of-age fight for both of these girls. This is the legacy fight that they're talking about. Both of them recognise that, by the way. You know, MIKAELA recognises that this is the home of women's boxing. England is the home of women's boxing. You know, that historic year that we had, October 2022, Savannah Marshall, Clarissa Shields, all-women's card. Who would have thought 20,000 people on an all-women's card? If you would have told me that 3 years ago, I would have thought you was going absolutely mad, Catman. You would not have thought this is possible. Now look at it here tonight. The M&S Arena, we're looking around, it's probably 3/4 full now. You look at it, it will be full by the time the girls come in here. And you just think how women's boxing has evolved. You know, and these two girls are a major part of that. And it means so much to them, this fight. The victory here means so much because it is a legacy fight. And both girls know that. They know there's a lot on the line. And they will go to a dark place to win tonight.
Just on Natasha Jonas, Ali, if I could bring you back in. She's 39 years of age now, right? At the start of the show, I referred to what she's currently going through as a bit of an Indian summer. We all thought it was kind of done at 37 and that she was maybe going down the route of retirement. She stepped up and obviously partnered up with Ben Shalom and Boxer, and this last 2 years have been fantastic, obviously taking the opportunity up at Super Welter. How impressed have you been with a lady of what we would class as in the twilight of her professional career to be able to... Yeah, but what I'm saying, 37, 38, 39 years of age, we don't necessarily normally see this, and she's going through the gears and still performing at the very highest level and taking on the very highest opponents and beating them.
Yeah, I do believe that she's in her prime, but I do have to say, guys, that it's very rude to talk about a woman's age, and her age gets spoken about all the time. Poor Natasha, may I say, but...
But I refer to it with male athletes as well. I'm just amazed that 37 onwards that she's doing better than she was at 33 to 37.
And by the way, she's giving us her blessing as well to talk about that age.
And she looks great for it as well, to be honest. But she is in her prime, and it's not as if she started late. We saw what she did all the way through the amateurs as well. So she isn't, she's a long way into her career, and she's absolutely in her prime. She knows it's her last few fights. This week, she has actually said this fight will be one of the last few. So she is embracing every single moment of it. We saw her this week. She was very relaxed. We saw her at the open workout. She was doing it with her daughter. Everything she is embracing. She was talking about the statue that's here in Liverpool for her now. And she knows that she still is in her prime. She can, win tonight. She can go on, unify. There's big things for her still to do in the next couple of fights. But she knows that she has to take every opportunity, every moment that she can, because there is only a few fights left.
And from a MAYER point of view, Spence, a win against someone like a Natasha Jonas, who is a name that has been in with the Katie Taylors of this world, that has been in with Terry Harper, and obviously she's unified divisions in weight divisions above. Getting that win on your ledger really does set you up, and as Ali was just alluding to there, yes, there's unifications on the line for Natasha, but if you look at a Jessica McCaskill, an all-American clash in this division for MIKAELA MAYER must be mouth-watering for her.
Absolutely. Listen, there's some huge fights out there. And what we love about the women is the politics of the sport go out the window. They're willing to go through the weights. They'll go up and down the weights because there's not that pool of fighters around in the female boxing right now, but the top quality really is top quality. And these women, you go, where does a winner go here? Where does MIKAELA MAYER go here? What's she looking for? Like you say, Jessica McCaskill. They're looking at people like Chantel Cameron. They're looking at Katie Taylors. These girls, the winner, by the way, only wants the big fights. That's where they're both at this stage of their careers. It's all about legacies right now, taking on the best. Whether that's up at 147 or down at 130, that's what we're talking about here.
We mustn't forget Sandy Ryan as well, who's obviously the WBO champion, who, in my opinion, beat Jessica McCaskill, but got a bit of a stiff one on the cards, didn't we? That's an all-British class that could be made for Natasha Jonas.
Yeah, it is. That's actually the one I want to see. I hope that
what,
can
Sandy
happen.
and Natasha?
Yeah, definitely. Because I also agree. I thought she won that night. But back to earlier, you said about the women's game growing. The fact is, the best fight the best in the women's divisions. It doesn't always happen. We don't always see it. Time and time again, we don't see it in boxing. That is part of the reason why it is growing so quickly and so successfully, because they are wanting the big fights. They almost have no choice, but the women made this fight tonight. They called for it and they made it happen. And they all want to fight the best. They want the big names on their records for the legacy, and that's only going to stand other boxing in good stead, you've got to say.
I've got a question for you then on this, right? Because you're right in what you're saying. There's obviously less politics.
They're easier to make.
Yeah, well, the talent pool isn't as deep as it is in the male, so therefore it is a lot easier to make, as you're rightfully pointing out. So how do we now kick this to the next level? Because we want parity eventually, don't we? One of my big arguments, and other girls have been speaking about this in press conferences, is about 3-minute rounds. Can we get to that stage where it becomes the norm? Amanda Serrano, big advocate, she's making that noise. She said, listen, WBC don't want to come down my route and adhere to what I want to do. No problem whatsoever. I'm not going to be fighting under the auspices of the WBC. I'll fight for other people. How do we get to the stage where 3-minute rounds, and I'm not saying for everybody right now, but I am talking about the elite girls, and I class these two tonight as the elite girls. How do we get there?
I actually thought at one stage that this fight would be at 3-minute rounds. I did think when the conversation started and they both seemed keen, I did think maybe we would see it. But there is a lot of politics in that. The one I think most of the women want 3-minute rounds. That seems to be the way.
Yeah.
But I do think the one thing that is stopping it, like you mentioned, the WBC won't sanction 3-minute rounds. It will stop a lot of undisputed fights happening, which is commonplace in the women's game. That's what, there's a lot of undisputeds at different weights, and that will stop if some of the governing bodies are saying 3 minutes, others saying no, we'll only sanction a 2-minute. That's where the problems will come, and I don't want those big fights for all the belts to not be able to happen because of politics like that.
The other argument as well is, and this is a rightful argument because I've heard Joe Gallagher speak about this, who looks after Natasha Jonas, if you wanted to do 3-minute rounds, pay her for 3-minute rounds.
100%, equal pay if it's going to be equal pay.
There's got to be a movement in that, hasn't there? There has to be a movement from the promoters, from the broadcasters to say, right, we're going to go with 3-minute rounds because we think it's obviously going to improve the sport. And my argument for 3-minute rounds regarding female fighting is, it's very hard. 2-minute rounds is very, very difficult when we're looking for those viral moments. I know this is going to sound brutal to people listening to this. We're looking for knockouts. That's what we're looking for. And it's those knockouts, those viral moments that go around the world that make superstars. If we can get more of that, the sport will grow. You get more of that in 3-minute rounds. But somebody's got to go first. The promoter, the broadcaster's got to go first and say, right, I want you to do 3 minutes. There's some more dough on the table, please do it.
Yeah, listen, I totally understand all that, but that's on all the plus sides of moving to 3-minute rounds, etc, etc, etc. But I think from a boxing point of view, and where they're sat right now is the reason that they've done 2-minute rounds for the women is because of the safety of the sport as well. They're looking at that. They've done the 10 2-minute rounds instead of the 12 threes because you're looking at the structure of a female boxer, the bone density, the thickness of the skull, and they're thinking about the safety. And sometimes, this is where I'm with this cat, man, sorry.
But my argument would be MMA. Yeah, MMA do exactly what the blokes do.
I'm just going to go here and go, though. This is where I'm at with it, right? Because we're talking about change, etc. And I just think women's boxing is so exciting to watch right now.
And that's a fair point.
And if it ain't broke, don't fix
it.
You're changing the tempo of the fight. So when the women know there's 2-minute rounds, I know this boxing is an amateur. You box
it's a
free
sprint.
twos or free sprint. The twos, man, you're going all in. You're rolling the dice straight away. You're throwing everything. The kitchen sink, boom, it goes in. When you go threes, there's more strategic plan over it. But then obviously the fight's more, the volume of the punches are more, etc, etc. So look, I'm just quite happy where it's sat right now because women's boxing, they are delivering, man, and we're getting great fights.
Okay, right. We've got an action-packed show lined up for you. Like I said, you can watch us streaming on our boxing YouTube channel. Ali's going to be out and about speaking to the who's who. There's a lot of people for you to speak to tonight.
There's a lot of people. I'm just seeing.
Listen,
every other seat is someone.
Listen, get your headphones on, go and get your roaming microphone, and let's get you out and about in the crowd. I can see Kell Brook knocking about over there. There's a couple of other people as well. So I'll send you on your way.
I will. I'll deliver. Don't worry.
And we will obviously get stuck into the other fight as well that we're going to be covering for you this evening. Is a rematch, Spence. We originally saw this behind closed doors throughout the course of COVID, where Jack Cullen and Zach Chell went at it. It ended up a draw that night. Tonight, they're going at it once again.
I love this fight. Love this fight. The difference now, where they're going at it right now, is Jack Cullen is now the champion. When you're a champion, it elevates you to another level. He was always always the challenger. Zach Chell, back in 2020, Matchroom headquarters, behind closed doors, he felt he won that fight. He won it clearly. He's always wanted this opportunity. But Jack Cullen, last performance against Mark Heffron, going in there as the underdog, pulls off a massive shock, goes out there and looked different to I've ever seen him before. He's trained camps, he's training in Liverpool now with Michael Jennings, and things seem to have clicked for him. And you just feel that the momentum is with Jack Cullen, that this one could steal the show. I mean, there's a lot more on the line. They boxed a 10-round draw before, now for the British Commonwealth super middleweight titles, but Jack Cullen is the champion, and that may make a difference in his performance.
Where is Zach Chell's head at this week? Because he had the wonderful performance against Anthony Sims Jr., who was off that night, let's be straight, but Chell was fantastic. And then he bounced into the fight with Jeffers, and he didn't look himself, did he?
He was outboxed, he was outfought, and it surprised us all because Jeffers took the opportunity and he went there. Now, Jack Cullen's been sparring, that's his main sparring partner, is Mark Jeffers. They box out in the same gym. So in case you're wondering, why has Jeffers not got the job? Why is it Zach Chell? Well, that's why it is, because Jack Cullen, Mark Jeffers, good mates, so he'll be looking to take a different route. But I mean, that is top-class sparring as well. But you look at what Jeffers done to Chell there. He outboxed him, and Chell just looked, one-dimensional at times. I mean, he's changed his his camp now as well. He's got a different trainer. His father's no longer involved in the team. How is that going to affect him? So everything leans towards Jack Cullen, but as we've seen, guys, when the British and Commonwealth titles are on the line, especially that British title, it seems to bring something different out of the fighters. We're going to get something special in this contest.
What are you expecting?
I'm expecting it to go down to the wire. I think Chell's going to push it. He's going to be pushing forward. He's going to be throwing punches in bunches, looking to overwhelm Cullen. Cullen will be using the perimeter of the ring, looking to pop the jab, get that fluidity going, get the work rate going. And I think that's where he wins the fight. But look, it's one of them. We've all got an opinion, but no one really knows.
We've been mentioning Mark Jefferson's name. He actually was on this card a little earlier on against Jermaine Brown. Great fight for the English title, and it was Mark Jeffers that came through in a fantastic performance. A real good ding-dong there for the local crowd. Jack Massey was also in action earlier on, a man that has stepped up and had a little bit of a go with Josie Parker at heavyweight, back down at cruiserweight now, and obviously looking to kick on with his career. It was a first-round knockout victory for him. We've got Gary Sotenstall as well that's going to be in action very, very shortly. Hopefully we'll get to speak to Jack Massey too, because I know he's got his eyes firmly fixed on a couple of other people as well that could be in action a little bit later on. As well as tonight, I think it's only fair that we touch upon some various other things that are going on in the world of boxing. Everybody seems to be off to Saudi Arabia at the moment. Spence, what do main events look like in the UK going forward?
Well, this is the interesting point, isn't it? Because everyone's going to want that Saudi money. That's where the big fights are going. That's where the fighters want to go, obviously, because it's called prize fighting. It's about money. But what they've done out in Saudi Arabia is obviously taking the politics away from the sport, because they're using all the different promoters for the first time. I mean, we've seen Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren sitting next to each other, hand in hand. When would you have ever thought that happens? Money talks, and the Saudis have got the money, and they're putting these fights together. So it's that, you know, that's the plus side for all this. But will all the fighters, this is the big thing, will all the fighters now be hanging out for that money? You know, will we still get the same volume of shows over it? But I think on the flip side, it gives more kids opportunity, because the kids now going to be wanting to showcase their skills over here on these shows. Opportunity, looking for that dream to get over there and box on one of those big shows. And we're talking about that.
Yes.
And as we're talking about that, one very special fight has just come and sat in with us, Mr. Josh Taylor. A fight, Josh, welcome, by the way, mate. Good to have you on the show with us. We're hearing here, mate, that today it's signed, the rematch, Jack Catterall, and it could be in the Middle East.
Yeah, well, I'll shut that down right away. I don't know where that came from, and nothing's been signed, nothing's been accepted yet, but we are in discussions, you know, and we're hoping to get this fight over the line sooner rather than later, you know, so we're both wanting the fight, but, you know, Matchroom are being a little bit, you know, don't want to, for lack of a better word, I'll just leave it there. But yeah, they need to get the pencil out a little bit, but we're getting there, so hopefully we get this fight made soon and we get this thing put to bed.
Why do you think they are holding up, Josh?
I'm not too sure, you know. You need to ask the lawyers and ask Matchroom and ask Eddie, you know. But I'm good to go. I'm ready to go. I want to fight, you know. Hopefully we aim for hopefully, you know, March, April time. So we're ready to go.
What are your plans now going forward? Obviously, you smashed it at 140. You've spoken in the past that maybe you want to maybe have a look at 147 now, yeah, and try and become multiple weight world champion and unify up there as well. What are your immediate plans?
Yeah, that's still in my plans. You know, it's still in my plans to become a two-weight world champion in terms of achievement-wise and keeping the hunger and ambition and the drive there in the game. I've got nothing else left to win at 140. I've won it all, you know. So in terms of ambitions and goals and targets and new targets to set and not standing still, it's setting new targets to become a two-weight world champion. So yeah, that is in the future plans. Yeah.
I mean, that would be the obvious move for you, Josh, wouldn't it? I mean, it's no secret that 140 was always getting a struggle for you. You've achieved pretty much everything you could achieve down there. You've become a pound-for-pound star, dominated that 140 division. Surely that would be, like, from your side of things and for legacies and, you know, your career personally, yeah, surely that's the obvious move. 147, big fights up there as well, yeah, and you would probably fit in better there right now at this stage of your career.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that is the targets, longer term targets, you know. But right now we're trying to focus on getting this Catterall fight done and over the line and signed and sealed.
And that would be at 140, would it?
Well, we'll wait and see. We'll get all the nitty gritty bits done with the lawyers and whatever, and see what's happening there.
Well, I'll come back to that in a minute. How are you enjoying Liverpool?
Yeah, good, brilliant. You know, it's just like back home. They're all just as mad as me, so I'm fitting well. I'm fitting in well.
Well, you made that move to the Return of Gym with Joe Mack there, and it seems to be working very, very nicely. Obviously, you've got a busy, buzzing gym, some good fighters in there. What are you adding to the Tornado arsenal since you've been in that gym?
Oh, listen, in this game you're always learning. You're always learning new things and new little intricacies from different minds in the game. You know, the minute you stop learning and developing is the minute you stop improving. So yeah, I'm always learning new things with Joe and Declan. You know, they're teaching me little new things that I've never seen before and stuff. So yeah, I'm really happy with where I am and the progress I've made. You know, obviously we never got the result the last time out, but I had a really good camp, and leading up to it, performing really well. Just on the night, I wasn't good enough on the night. I never turned up on the night, but I believe that myself. I'm the best version of myself. I believe I beat Teofimo Lopez, but it's been and gone, you know. And he was better than man on the night, so there's no excuse for me. He was better than me on the night, but I really feel that I'm having a great time here with Joe and Declan and learning a lot and improving all the time as well.
But those are the moments for all fighters. Whenever we speak to fighters, they're the key moments in people's careers, that they take those particular moments and then obviously go back to the gym, work on whatever it was that wasn't right on that particular night. And that's the exciting thing from a fan point of view, because you look at it and you go, I want to see what the comeback looks like.
Yeah. Well, and do you know the beauty about that as well is, like, you know, with Josh Taylor, where he's at in his career, where he's sat in his career, he's already cemented his legacy in so many ways. You know, he's going down as one of the greatest Scottish fighters ever to come out of Scotland, you know, and you look at that and you go over there and he has an off night against Teofimo Lopez. I think that we've seen with previous performances, and that performance he had there, he did look a little flat, and you go, you know, was it the weight? Where was he at? Like, what is the desire?
What do you put that down to?
Listen, it was just on the night. Just on the night, you know. There was obviously little issues and stuff there, but then what's the point in saying it? Because then I just get, you're coming up with excuses, you know.
Fair enough.
So on the night, I turned up, had a good camp. I had little issues obviously leading up to the fight, but I went into the fight because I felt good. I felt good and I felt great. I had a great preparation, prepared to the best of my ability with that injury that I had. And, you know, I went in the fight, I felt good. I was sparring well, I was knocking out 3-4 sparring partners. And yeah, I felt great. Just on the night, he was better than me. He turned up, nah, never. That was all. So,
Josh, I want to ask you, mate. Like, so once you come up, you know, and you have that defeat, and you know, then people start asking questions. You know, where is Josh right now? You know, is he at? Does he still got that burning desire? Yeah. Does he still want to achieve and accomplish different things? What does it do to you as a fighter, like those setbacks like that? And like you say, you know, you change your team, you go back to the drawing board, but does it relight the fire in your belly? Do you rediscover something when you lose like that sometimes? Because you're so used to winning, you know, and upsetting the odds. When you get a setback like that, what does it do to you as a fighter at that stage of your career?
Just makes me more determined. Just makes me more determined. I've still got plenty to give in this game, you know, and having these doubts, you're finishing that. Listen, all the greats I've lost 4, 5, 6 times in the past.
Do you feed off that, by the way?
You have one loss and all of a sudden I'm lost, I'm past it and this and all that, carry on because I've had a couple of bad performances. So what? You know, it's happened throughout history. I'm still one of the best fighters on the planet, whether you like it or not, I am.
Well, the resume backs that up.
Yeah, well, there you go. You know, I'm the first guy in the UK to become undisputed world champion, the full belt era, in only 18 fights. Beating 6 undefeated fighters in a row. You know, so the record speaks for itself. I'm still a great fighter, but I'm going to give it, and the best is still yet to come. And I'm going to become a world champion again, and hopefully, if the time's right, if the belts all come available at welter, I get the chance to become a 2-weight world champion too.
I like that point. Where are the challenges do you see? Obviously, we've got a welterweight king right now, haven't we, in Terence, and he put in a wonderful performance against Errol Spence last year. Yeah. There's a lovely crop of fighters coming through. You probably put Jerome Ennis in there and a few others that you have a flirt around. Where are the challenges for you? Where are the ones that get you really excited?
Yeah,
because
all of them names are great. That's why I'm in the game and that's why I'm still here. You know, I could retire right now and be happy, and I've had the career 1 in a million has had in the UK. You know, so I could happily retire tomorrow and say I've done okay in this sport and in the game. But me being me and being super competitive, I want to still push myself and challenge myself against the best. And all these guys that are in this division, they're the superstars of the sport and the big dogs, and I want to test myself against them all. So what's the point in being there just to be competitive? I want to go in there, I want to test myself, and I want to win. So Yeah, absolutely believe in myself.
I mean, you said it there yourself, actually. It does take a lot of pressure off you, doesn't it, with your achievements and what you've achieved within the sport right now. You go, there is no more to prove. You've done it. You've been there, seen it, done it, beat the best in their backyards, and you've won pretty much everything. So now it's all about, you know, just you going and accomplishing more. Like, I mean, your career's already, your legacy's already cemented.
Yeah, but I love the game, and I love fighting, and I love boxing, and I'm still madly in love with it. So I'm going to keep going until I feel like I'm maybe not performing at the best in the gym or things like that, you know. And that's where the people around me, I've got good people around me. I really trust Joe and Declan and my old amateur coach Terry McCormack, who I've been with since a kid. You know, the people around me, when they start telling me things like that, look, you're not quite doing this, that's when maybe they'll tell me when I'm not performing at my best, and they'll tell me when it's time to hang up. But I am still in the prime of my career, and I'm going to be a two-weight world champion eventually.
What's the roadmap for you? What's the dream for you? Where would you go? What's the dream fights? Because look, Josh Taylor, surely at this stage of your career, you want the big ones. You want the big names.
Obviously, I'd love all the big fights. You know, there was obviously talk a couple of years back of me boxing Terence Crawford and stuff like that. And you know, and if I've had the chance to fight a guy like that, you know, I'd rip your arm off for it. You know, it's the best guy in the sport. I've got so much admiration for Terence Crawford. He's, in my opinion, the best pound-for-pound fighter on the planet. I think he's got it all. He's got the charisma. He's got the style. He can box. He can fight. Orthodox, southpaw, back foot. He's got everything. You know. So if I had the chance to go in and test myself against him and fight him, and listen, I believe in myself. You know, if I'm not going to go in there just to try and turn up, I'm going to go up and I'm going to go in for a win. But yeah, these are the kind of fights that you hear me getting excited about, just talking about it, you know, and that's what's keeping me in the game, and that's I still feel and I still want these kind of fights, and I'm still in love with the game.
You've got that little pool of fighters in you know, there's them huge names out there, like your Devin Haney's, your Terence Crawford, your Gervonta Davis. There's some big fights to be made for you out there, and they're, I suppose, the fights that you crave now. Yeah, absolutely, and I feel I've definitely earned my stripes to be involved in these big fights, so if we can get them, then why not?
Regarding the Catterall fight then, where are you thinking that this is going to take place? Spencer alluded to Saudi Arabia there, but it's a fight that has to happen on British soil, doesn't it?
That got put on the table and got put towards me, and I shut it down pretty much straight away. You know, everybody's jumping on the bandwagon and fizzing off over to Saudi Arabia to get some of that Saudi money. You know, and I don't think that's fair on the UK fans. I don't think that's fair on the fans back here and the fans that have supported me my whole career, and to then get a big fight and bugger off over there where a lot of people aren't going to be able to afford to go over there and watch me. So this is a UK fight. This is, and it needs to be in the UK. It needs to be in Scotland or down here somewhere. You know, it's got to be in the UK for the UK fans.
That's really, really, really refreshing to hear you say that. How important, given what happened with that particular fight, how important is it for you to get that one and then go and show what people already know you're all about in that particular fight?
Yeah, you know, I've got a big bee on my bonnet as well from the fallout from that. You know, people like yourself give me a hard time, you know, with the comments that you come out with the corruption stuff and all that led to a lot of hate comments and stuff with my family. So I'm still a little bit angry at you with that.
No, listen, I can understand that.
But listen, I've got a lot to prove in terms of the public opinion sort of thing, you know. So you're too right. I want to get this one done and I want to get it put to bed.
When we're thinking?
I'm not sure. Hopefully we're not that far yet. I still haven't had an offer, and I don't know where that come from today. I seen it on Instagram or whatever. I'd been tagged and the terms had been accepted, but I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard another offer or anything like that. So we're waiting to see. But hopefully it gets done sooner rather than later.
Good. Well, you're looking really well, mate. I'm hearing great things from that gym. How's my old pal Darren Till doing in there? Is he looking? He's looking sharp.
Yeah, he's looking good. Do you know what? He's doing really well. Been watching him and sparring, and he's putting a few people over. You know, so yeah, he's starting to get a little bit of the boxing style, and he's still got that awkward MMA kind of style, which makes it work for him because it's really unorthodox for other boxers to come in and fight against that style. So yeah, it's quite good, and I think he'll do quite well.
Look at that, eh? We've got the inside there from the Tornado himself. Listen, thank you so much for being on the show.
No worries,
really
guys.
Appreciate it. We'll let you crack on with the remaining of your evening, and we're looking forward to seeing you back here, man, doing your thing. All the best to you, pal.
Thank you.
All the best. Josh Taylor there, just in case you're just tuning in to the show. No confirmation as of yet as to when he'll be back in the ring, but obviously it's imminent, and we're looking forward to seeing him do his thing. Top man. Thank you very much, Josh. Take care. Spencer, regarding those fights, and it was really refreshing to hear Josh speak there of British fights happening on UK soil rather than those ones that are obviously off to Saudi Arabia. We know that they're off to Saudi Arabia, a lot of them, but what we want is the big British fights to be happening on UK soil, and that is probably one of the biggest.
Listen, that was beautiful. That was music to my ears. You know, Josh Saylor saying that I want to give it back to the British fans. You know, he's taken a lot of stick from the British fans, you know, and he's had a lot of backlash because of that fight, that controversial fight that he had with Jack Catterall, and he wants to, you know, he wants to turn that around. I love that, getting that on in the UK, him saying, listen, forget that, I don't want to go to Saudi Arabia, I want to do this for my people. That was music to my ears. That's brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. What other fights do you reckon? I mean, we've just heard from Boxer this week that we think we're getting Bellew Smith and Richard Riakporhe. That's obviously going to be something that's happening on UK soil, so there's a nice world title fight for everybody to get excited about. Again, a rematch.
Yeah, listen, there's some big fights out there. We're talking Fabio Wardley, Fraser Clark. I'm hearing that's a fight that could be happening, a huge British title heavyweight title fight. We could be getting that here on the, you know, on these shores. There's going to be some big fights here. Listen, we're not going to lose all the major ones to Saudi Arabia. Yes, you know, their involvement in boxing, their investment in boxing, they are going to take a lot of the big fights there globally, not just from here, but we're still going to get the fights on British soil, which is great.
Now, Ali Drew is out and about in the arena right now. I know who she's with. Now, think about this, Spencer, right? There's very, very rarely does a fighter get to call time on their career with that signature win. I think of Carl Froch landing that big right hand on George Groves and riding off into the sunset. And the other fighter that I think
know where you're going.
The other fighter that I think about is Kell Brook. That's right. Old chocolate brownies himself, sprinkling the sugar on the fists, ready to rock and roll, getting it against his old adversary, Amir Khan, off to retirement with a boatload of cash in his back pocket. But he's talking, man. He's talking. He's talking about coming back.
Catman, that's where I was going with it, my friend. That's where I'm going. Listen, yes, fighters retire. They say they've had enough of it. They're sick of it. The training camps, the wear and tear on the body. Guess what? 2 months goes, 4 months goes. We hit the 6-month mark. Whoa, all of a sudden, I'm getting a little bit itchy shoulders. I'm getting itchy fists.
That's it.
I want to get back in there. Does Kell Brook want to go back there? I'm hearing rumours, my friend.
Right, well, let's
I'm
find
hearing rumours.
Let's find out, because Ali Drew is with Kell Brook. How much money will it take to get Kell Brook back in the ring, Ali?
You just asked what you were saying, and I just said that you were talking about him, about coming back plans, how much it will take. We'll talk about that in a sec. We are here at ringside. How are you enjoying the atmosphere so far?
I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I've not been to a show for a while, but yeah, I'm enjoying the fans as loud cheering and roaring, and some good fights on tonight.
Yeah, have you missed being at fight nights and being involved in them, and does it give you a bit more itchy knuckles being ringside?
Of course it does, you know. This is what we do, this is what we've done as a kid. It's in us, we're warriors, you know, like from the Roman days. So, of course, you know, the atmosphere, you know, it just brings it all back again, and it's, my knuckles start getting itchy.
Now, the main event tonight, homecoming for Natasha Jonas, it's going to be unbelievable in here. The noise is going to be through the roof. Just what are you expecting from that fight?
I can see it being a war. Agla Hearns, the women version, you know what I mean? Natasha Jones comes to bring it. MAYER, she's an experience. She's going to come. They both had a fantastic training camp. So the crowd in for a wild night, you know what I mean? We're in for a treat. You know, but I'm hoping Natasha, you know, I've followed her for many years, and I hope that she can get it tonight. But it's gonna, you know, it's a 50-50 fight. It's a great fight, and we're the ones that we're going to enjoy it.
Now, back to you, and all the stuff we've been seeing this week about possibly coming back out of retirement, certain names that might interest you. Where are we at with it? What is happening?
Yeah, I'm just saying, you know, like, it's getting talked about. Yeah, listen, it can happen. It can happen. I can come out, can take me slippers in my pipe and put them to one side, get my running trainers back out, my gloves, dust them off, and shut, you know, and get that adrenaline going again. Get the fans, because for me, you know, when I speak to the fans, they've not had a night like when me and Calm were in Manchester. So, listen, it can happen again, you know, and I'm excited. I can tell that everyone wants it again.
Everyone does want it. That night was unbelievable. I was there. The atmosphere was incredible. Is it Chris Eubank Jr. you're going to come back out of retirement for?
Yeah, I think his name is there. His name, you know, he's the one what's getting talked about the most, you know, and it's a fight, you know. I don't like the guy. It's a fight that the fans are going to definitely get a treat from start to finish, from the build-up to the fight, you know, and it's a fight that I can get out of bed for and get out of them silk sheets and hit that road.
Are you getting out of those bed sheets for training? Are you in training now?
I'm training. I am training, you know, because it's good to train anyway, but listen, you know, as soon as the green light goes on and we can make it happen, you know, I'm willing to put them 3 months for our training into to entertain again, like I do.
I think you're pretty set on that, but hopefully we see you back in the ring soon. But enjoy tonight. Thank you for talking to me.
Thank you.
Top stuff, Ali. Thank you very much. Kell Brook with Ali Drew there. I've got a couple of things that I just want to pick up on that, right? I'll come back to Kell in a minute because he's just brought up the Chris Eubank Jr. thing. And I know that you've been speaking this week about Chris Eubank Jr. Be honest with me. What do you want to see Chris Eubank Jr. do next?
For me, I think for Chris Eubank Jr., I think he needs to go on. We need to see him challenging for that world title. I think that's where he needs to be looking now. If you're talking about legacies and, you know, coming out of his father's shadows, etc., we've seen him in the big fights. We've seen him in the big nights. You know, he's had that great win against Liam Smith. He needs to now go and build on that. You know, what is he, 35 years of age to say? Time is running out. I need to see him step up, box for a world title and go from there, because that's what it's all about for me right now. That's where he needs to be. I don't want to see him in fights like, you know, I know there's talk there of Kell Brook coming out of retirement, and yeah, it's a fantasy fight, but listen, it's a fight that's, when it's been and it's gone, it's gone. You know, I don't believe in all that. You know, what Kell Brook they're talking about, you know, the temptation, he's getting itchy knuckles, the temptation to coming back. Is he mistaking boredom and coming back for the wrong reason? And that's a big problem. Fighters that do that come back for the wrong reason, of course, because they've got no direction. They've lost their identity. They've got no direction in life. They've got, you know, no get up and drive. And the only thing to do that is by making a comeback. Well, that's the wrong reason to come back and get in this ring, you know, because it is a young man's sport, and it's like, you know, it's one of those that you can't come back for the wrong reason. It's a dangerous place to be. And for me, if I'm honest, Kell Brook, great fighter, unbelievable servant to the game, brilliant ambassador of the sport, you know, going over to America, winning the world title, you know, the way that he won that world title against Sean Porter will go down in history. You know, it'll be a memorable victory, that will, coming back. That last fight against Kell Brook, that was the fight for him that cemented his legacy, cemented and put everything to bed. I think had he lost that fight to Amir Khan, we would have been in serious problems. I think he would have had serious mental health issues. I don't think he would have ever got over that. But him coming through the way that he come through and getting that victory, that was his night, that was his moment. Enjoy your life after that, Kell. Do you know what I mean? You get to a stage, that's where I'm at with it. You know, I just don't want to see him come back for the wrong reason. That's because I like the guy on a personal level.
Look at this, no friction on the show there, because I am in total agreement. Regarding the Eubank Jr., the question that I threw your way, right? We see him really well ranked with the WBO. He's the #1 with the WBO, and he's currently the #2 with the WBC, for whatever this is worth regarding sanctioning bodies. The time is now. 2024, we need to see Chris Eubank Jr. roll the dice, and let's see whether it is all true, whether he can become a world champion. Now, don't get me wrong. The holders of those straps right now are legitimate guys. Yanni Beck, who is the guy with the WBO, and obviously the joint with the IBF at the moment. He, for me, is the best of the lot at 160 right now. You've also got one of the Charlo twins in there, for whatever that's worth, because he's been stepping up in weight and what have you, currently holding the WBC. Chris Eubank Jr. absolutely will go into both of those contests there as the underdog, but you're never going to find out unless you have a go. Have a go, let's find out whether you can become a world champion. And all these other fights, they're not going anywhere. For example, a trilogy with Liam Smith absolutely will still be on the table should he fall short at world championship level. We've got the situation with Conor Benn, we know about this, and if he can get his licensing agreement sorted out, then of course this will still be there later on down the line. Josh Kelly's coming through now, he's looking really good once again. Maybe that's something that you can look at a later time. Nathan Heaney, he's just become British champion at 160. Maybe that is something that can happen at Stoke Stadium. But regarding the Kell Brook scenario, very rarely does a fighter get to retire on such a high. And as long as his bank balance is nice and full and brimming, stay on the couch, man.
Absolutely, man. Listen, trust me on this one. Kell Brook doesn't have to get up. He's got no purpose to get up because he has got silk sheets. The bank account is looking healthy. You know, he's feeding well, my friend. He's feeding very well.
Feasting.
All Kell Brook needs to do is find direction in life, because when a boxer retires, he loses that identity. And when he loses his identity and he's got to fit into life as a normal civilian, that's where the difficulty is. Kell, go and get a manager's licence, go and get a trainer's licence, bring through the next Kell Brook. That's where we're at, man.
Come and hang out with us at talkSPORT,
Come
mate.
and hang out with us, even better, man.
We'll have a bit of banter on a Saturday, won't we, eh?
We know he loves a night out, old Kell Brook. We ain't bad on the dance floor.
We'll have a
we
go.
Can do it. We can have a go.
Kell, there you go. Job offer for you. Come and hang out with us at talkSPORT, pal. Don't be getting back involved. Like I said, as long as you're financially safe, mate, no need, because you've nothing left to prove. Done it, been there, got the T-shirt, job done. Don't need to give anybody else any bragging rights over you in the not-too-distant future. But regarding Eubank Jr, I would love him to challenge for a world title this year, because all those other fights that we're talking about, I know that Liam Smith's been shaping up this week, speaking to you as well. It's not going anywhere.
No, I totally agree, mate. Listen, the Liam Smith fight, the trilogy, will happen, must happen. But listen, now, Eubank's at that age. He's at the ripe old age. What is he, 35 years of age, I believe he is. He's at that stage of his career where the next 12 months are seriously important. He's really well ranked with all the governing bodies. Take that opportunity now, my friend. Fulfill your dream. Cement your legacy. It's all about winning world titles. When boxers start boxing at a very young age, you don't dream about, yeah, of course, the money is a bonus and it's prize fighting and that's what it's all about. But the original dream when you're a young kid is to win the Olympics. And I want to be a world champion. I want to tell my kids, my grandkids, that's what it's all about, my old son. Go and win the world title. Don't worry about anything else, because them other fights will always be there.
Absolutely, and fingers crossed we can get those things made throughout the course of 2024. I think it's only fair that I bring in John Rowling, who's been very patient, keeping an eye on the fight that is currently going on in the ring, involving Chris Eubank. Again, an elite amateur coming into the professional ranks, looking really, really good. John, I know that she's through 7 rounds of this fight with Furtado right now, just about to complete 7 rounds. How's she looked this evening?
Well, she's looked a little bit less than I think those who are backing her and training her and preparing her would have hoped. She's had plenty of trouble against Lila Furtado, who's a smaller fighter from Brazil, from Sao Paulo, but she's only lost 1 in 10 fights, Furtado, and Artingstall put her down at the end of the first round. And I tell you what, if there was VAR in boxing, I think that would have been disallowed as a knockdown, because I'm pretty sure that the big left cross that Artingstall caught her with, the left hand, was thrown after the bell had gone. But nevertheless, Furtado took a count. That was a 10-8 round. It would be given as that. And as a result of that, I think Artingstall is ahead. But she's had plenty of trouble against Furtado. Let's hope she can hold on and maintain this undefeated record, looking for a 6th professional win tonight. Can I just say something about Kell Brook? Because I was listening and biting my tongue as I was hearing all that. I would hate to see Kell Brook back in a boxing ring. Absolutely hate. And there's a lot of difference between beating a washed-up Amir Khan, and let's be honest, that's what he was, against a very live and with it Chris Eubank Jr. I think there's a serious possibility that Kell Brook could go in there and get hurt and come to regret it. You know, he's had some great fights, he's had some very hard fights. He's been in there against the likes of Golovkin, and he's been really, you know, taken a pummeling. He's paid for the riches that he's got, and I don't think that he needs anything more now. And I was listening to one of those lovely life stories that Tris Dixon does online, and his, I think it was 250th life story that he did was with Joe Calzaghe. And Joe, as we know, is 46-0, never lost as a pro. And he said a lot of people, and Tris agreed with this, would say that really you're 47-0 because you beat the very real possibility of people seducing you into coming into a comeback against Carl Froch or whoever, one he didn't need. And I think that, you know, a lot of fighters retire and come back and regret it. The biggest success is to retire at the top and not come back.
Well said, well said. And I'm sure Mr. Carl Froch, who is a member of the talkSPORT team, is probably watching this going, absolutely nailed it there.
I bet he'd agree. I bet you any money that if Carl was sitting here now, he'd agree with that.
I think he would. I think he would. Do stick with us. We're in Liverpool this evening at the M&S Bank Arena. We're going to be bringing in Natasha Jonas versus MIKAELA MAYER for the IBF welterweight crown. Cracking fight, cracking main event. We've also got a core main event, which is a rematch between Chell and Cullen. That's coming up very, very shortly. But Ali Drew's out and about in the M&S Bank Arena, and I believe she's with Savannah Marshall.
I certainly am. Savannah, you're ringside tonight. It's going to be a huge night ahead, especially for Natasha Jonas.
Yeah, it's going to be massive. It's like Great Britain versus the USA, so I'm really...
You've been involved in one of them yourself?
Yeah, I have. They're brilliant, and do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Tash stops her.
Do you think there's going to be a stoppage tonight?
I think Tash might stop her, yeah. I think, look what MIKAELA does, she comes forward, she's aggressive, everything that a southpaw would hate, but I think Tash is just going to be too acute, too sharp, too precise for her.
Interesting. I mean, the fact is, it's a homecoming for Tasha tonight in Liverpool. The atmosphere is going to be incredible. How good is it, you know, as a friend of hers, for you to see her having fights like this, fight nights like this, and after such a long career?
I think it's about time. Tasha's amazing, and you know, she's been around forever. She was around when I was, you know, a 12-year-old girl, and I'm just glad it's all come at the right time for her.
Back to you. So we've got obviously a huge night. We've just seen a women's fight there. We've got a main event, obviously. But you've stepped away from the boxing for a little bit, and you're doing MMA. How is that going?
Do you know, I'm absolutely loving it. You've got to think, I've been jabbing, hooking, backhanding for 22 years. So to learn how to choke, to rolling, kicking, judo, wrestling, I'm really excited about it.
How different are you finding the training?
Really different. Honestly, I feel like an absolute novice. Absolute novice. I'm going in the gym and I'm no longer, you know, world class. I'm no longer one of the best in the world. I'm in the beginner classes.
Now, you're not the only one who has sort of taken a step to the MMA. Your former foe, Clarissa Shields, also has. She's just announced she's going back to it. She has been before, but she's coming back to it. May we see a rematch across in MMA?
Hopefully. Look, I'm under no illusion that's why the PFL are interested in me. They were at mine and Chris's fight at the O2. They've seen how big it was, and you know, obviously she's already doing MMA. She's done it for a couple of years now. So when they approached me and, you know, spoke about it, it definitely got me excited. So hopefully, yeah.
Keep your eyes peeled for that one, and then we will see you back in a boxing ring in the future.
Yeah, I'll be fighting MMA first, hopefully boxing at the back end of the year.
Brilliant. Well, look forward to seeing that and enjoy tonight.
Cheers.
Back to you, Adam.
Savannah Marshall stepping into the world of MMA. There's many going the other way, but not many going that way. We'll come back to that in a minute because the fight in the ring has just concluded. Carissa Artenstall just gone through 8 rounds. Had a hand raised there, John Rawley.
Yeah, well, as I kind of hinted that it was likely to come, she took it by a narrow margin, 77-75, and I point you again to that knockdown at the end of the first round, which in my opinion shouldn't have been a knockdown. It was a 10-8 round which went in Artingstall's favour, and she's won by a two-point margin. She looked pretty, well, not as impressive as she would have hoped, I don't think, tonight. And I think she can, well, maybe not consider herself fortunate, but, you know, it was a little bit one of those hometown decisions.
We keep talking about the level of opponent for the likes of Carissa Artenstall and her partner, Lauren Price, who's in attendance this evening. I know that she'll have her eyes on the main event. We saw her in Bournemouth. And we talk about these elite amateurs all the time, Spence, that maybe they can go just a tiny bit quicker because of their elite amateur pedigree. And the reason why I say that is because you want an opponent that's going to come at them and have a real good go at them in order to them be able to get their work off. When it's a little bit tuck up and you've got to figure it out yourself, it does seem a little bit slow.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, Carissa Artenstall has made no secret of saying that she wants world titles in 2024. She wants to move through. You know, she's an Olympic bronze medalist. She's competed at the top level. She feels that she's got that experience, and with, you know, the pool not so big in women's boxing at the moment. She said, "Give me the opportunity. Give me the opportunity." Well, there was a stern lesson there that she had learned there. Like, John Rawling was right in what he said there. That knockdown at the end of the first round, it was a shot that was delivered after the bell had rang. You know, had that not been ruled a 10-8 round, you know, that was a tough fight. I mean, that opponent there, she was tough. She, the South American, just kept coming at her, work rate. She learnt a lot of lessons in there tonight, Karis Arkenstall. She's come away with the victory, but showed there, actually, there's still work to be done.
Getting the job done, Karis Arkenstall there, beating Furtado on points. Still to come this evening, we've got Cullen against Chell, and then the main event, the IBF welterweight title fight between Natasha Jonas and MIKAELA MAYER, all set for an absolute cracking showdown. All coming to you from Liverpool on Fight Night.
Total Knockout Radio. Fight Night on talkSPORT, the home of boxing.
95-95, we have a split draw.
It's 3.5 years in the making. I wanted the rematch straight away, but obviously our paths went different ways, and now they've collided again. Says he wants to go for bigger and better titles. He's had the opportunity twice, and he's lost by knockout twice. So
titles are coming back under my bed. tell you that. You're done. You're done, mate.
You're the one with the grey hairs, mate. You're done.
You're listening to Fight Night Live on talkSPORT. We're in Liverpool this evening at the M&S Bank Arena. Natasha Jonas versus MIKAELA, the IBF welterweight crown, all be on the line, all set for a cracking main event. We've got a good core main event coming your way as well, a rematch between Cullen and Chell. Looking forward to that fight, and also looking forward to speaking to some of the who's who of the boxing and MMA world who are in attendance this evening. Ali Drew is out and about in the M&S Bank Arena, and she's currently with my old mate, UFC star, Meatball Molly McCann.
I am with Molly McCann, and we are here in your hometown of Liverpool. Just tell me, if people don't know, how good a fight night here in Liverpool is?
I think it's always an amazing night here. The crowd normally gets behind anyone in the ring or in the cage. The ale gets drunk and the party gets started after the main event.
Yeah, and it's not even full yet. We had some Scousers on earlier, and it was deafening in here, so I can only imagine what it's going to be like later.
Absolutely. I think we had one of the city's own of their pro debut. Done well, got the fella out of there in a few rounds. And up next is one of the best, the most decorated boxers to come out of the city, Natasha. It'll go off its head when she walks out. It's her time, and I think we're all very honoured to be here, to be able to watch a woman headline. Do you know what I mean?
How proud are you of what she has achieved in her career?
It's funny because I started boxing in 2006 after being at a boxing show that she was at in the Adelphi. Watched their box on the Rotunda show, so I've always kind of followed her around the world, and yeah, it's just great to see every boundary she's overcome. She's pushed past and surpassed every boundary placed upon her, and I think just to show the resilience of the losing the two world titles and then getting it on the fair crack. Not many people can do that, and without sounding a bit at her age when she chose to do it, most people would be past their peak, but she's like a fine wine artist. She's just getting better.
Do you think that she may be the best boxer to come out of Liverpool?
She's up there, isn't she? She's got the most titles. I think people would like to dispute it because boxing's a matter of opinion, but she's up there with me. She's right up at the top.
Let's talk about you. What is going on with you at the moment? When are we going to see you back in the cage?
I'm back out 2 weeks today. I'll be flying to Vegas in a couple of days, and I am dropping down a weight category, as you all know. So £10 lighter, Ali. So I didn't have the best Christmas, guys. I was running mountains in Tenerife on Christmas Day, but I'm very excited to get out there and do the business and help me friends. Help me friends.
Yeah, so before you fly to Vegas, you are flying to Ireland to go and see one of your training partners who had a life-altering injury. Do you want to just explain that?
Yeah, just to those at home or to those who were listening. Ryan Curtis, a training partner of mine when I'm in Ireland, he was in an accident in the gym and he broke his neck and his back, and at the moment he's paralysed. He's got a little girl who's only 2. His baby mum, Emma, one of our best mates. They're really struggling at the minute, you know, and we're trying to raise as much money as we can to change his house, to convert his house. He lives in a 3-storey townhouse. That's going to have to be completely changed, and one of our best friends' lives just being changed forever. His dream was to fight in the UFC. I know that's not going to happen, so I'm flying over tomorrow at 7 in the morning, go and give him a little hug, a little kiss, and then off to Vegas I go. So if anyone's listening and they've got a heart of gold or watching, Ryan Curtis on GoFundMe, every penny, every pound and everything helps. So please, please, please show your generosity if you can.
Well done for raising awareness for that. But best of luck when you're back in the cage, and enjoy tonight.
Thank you, darling.
Molly McCann speaking to Ali Drew ringside there and highlighting obviously the plight of Ryan Curtis, Irish MMA fighter who had a horrific accident last week, and as Molly pointed out, there is a GoFundMe page. I put it up on my own personal social media pages if you want to go and have a little bit of a nose there and help him and his family out. We wish him all the best. Interesting point that Molly just brought up there, or was asked by Ali, regarding best fighters to come out of Liverpool. Now, Last week we had Callum Smith have an opportunity to become a two-weight world champion. I know that John's going to jump all over me and say,
"Oh,
oi,
listen, he's itching, mate." Me and John have had this.
John Conte, stop it!
Me and John Rawling have had this conversation off a record. There, you go. Whoa,
go on then.
Whoa! Don't
Alan
forget
Rudkin, Paul Hodkinson.
Great shout. Alan Rudkin's a great shout.
Don't forget Hoko, mate, WBC World Featherweight Champion. What a fighter he was, you know. I think Liverpool's steeped in great fighters, you know, great champions, you know, from past and even now present. So,
but becoming a two-weight world champion and the only one out of the city, I know that Paul Butler will jump on me. Listen, Ellesmere Port is not Liverpool. That's what I'll claim. All right, I know that he were a two-weight world champion, but the only Scouser to be a two-weight world champion. We've had some great ones down the years. She's in the conversation at least, Natasha Jonas.
Oh, without a doubt. You know, when you look at what she's achieved, you know, at this late stage of her career, it goes down in history, and she is a two-weight world champion. You know, she's the first woman to win the British Boxing Board of Control Best Boxer of the Year. She has broke down all boundaries. She's doing a lot. She's inspiring the younger generation of the city of Liverpool. So you have to take all that into consideration. But when we're going back in history and looking at some of the fighters, go and follow the career of John Conte, the journey that he was on, what he had to achieve to get to where he got to. You know, winning a world title when, boy, that was hard to do, and beat some of the fighters. He was the poster boy, not just of Liverpool, but of Great Britain, my friend. He was like big news. You know, you look at that and you just go, come on, man, give the guy a mention. I've got to say it, mate. John Conte for me goes down. He's my guy. He's like you got to look at that. Hoko, yeah, he was great, and he had this, you know, spell, but his eyes used to swell up, and that sort of affected the end of his career. John Conte was one of the greatest fighters this country has ever produced.
Listen, it's a great footballing city. It's also a great fighting city, because not only do we have fantastic boxers, we've also got a lot of fantastic MMA athletes as well to come out of Liverpool. And later on, Natasha Jonas, one of those fantastic fighters to come out of Liverpool, will hopefully be attempting to defend IBF welterweight crown against MIKAELA MAYER. Right now, though, we're going to turn our attention towards the core main event this evening. It is a rematch between Jack Cullen, who's about to make his way to the ring, and Jack Chell. It is for the British and Commonwealth super middleweight title. Spence, the first occasion took place behind closed doors in Eddie Hearn's back garden of all places, and they came to a draw.
It did, my friend. That was back in 2020, I think August 2020 actually. Matchroom headquarters. They both went at it, you know, in different surroundings. Zach Chelly felt he won that fight. He thinks it's controversial. He's always been chasing the return, and guess what? That was over 10 rounds. This is for the British and Commonwealth super middleweight titles. You have to look at Jack Cullen. You know, his last performance against Mark Efron, where he was going in as an underdog. People felt that he was too much for Jack Cullen, who really challenged for the European title. Challenged for the European title a couple of occasions before, fallen short, but he put in a career best performance, and I think when you win that title, that elevates you to another level. It's going to be tough for Chelly in there tonight.
Listen, it's a top fight, really looking forward to it. This is our core main event for the British and Commonwealth titles in the super middleweight division.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your chief support bout of the evening. 12 3-minute rounds for the British and Commonwealth Super Middleweight Championships. Promoted by Ben Shalom and Boxer, it is being brought to you live worldwide on Sky Sports and ESPN+. Our referee in charge when the bell rings, Michael Alexander. Let's meet the fighters. First, the challenger, fighting out of the blue corner. Wearing the green trunks with red trim, he stands 6 feet tall. He weighed in at 11 stone, 12 pounds, 5 ounces. He holds a professional record of 14 victories versus 2 defeats and 1 draw, with 7 of those wins coming by way of knockout. And he fights out of Fulham, London, England, introducing the former English super middleweight champion, Zach Chelly. And his opponent, the champion, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the purple trunks with silver trim, he stands 6 feet 3 inches tall. He weighed in at 11 stone, 13 pounds, 5 ounces. He holds a professional record of 22 victories versus 4 defeats and 1 draw, with 10 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Little Lever, England. Introducing the reigning, defending British and Commonwealth Super Middleweight Champion. He is Little Lever's meat cleaver. Ladies and gentlemen, Jack Cullen.
Right, lads, you both know the rules, so let's just have a good, clean fight, okay? Most of all, remember to defend yourselves at all times, all right? Touch gloves.
I like the look of this fight here, Spencer. Cullen against Chell when they stood face to face, centre ring. Jack Cullen, the champion, defending his titles, stands some 3 inches taller than Zach Chell. Chell, though, believes that he won first time around, but I'll tell you what, if Cullen fights as well as he did in his last fight against Mark Heffron, then Zach Chell is in for a really tough night tonight. Though, having said that, the bookies really can't split them. They've got Cullen as a very slight favourite, but not by much, and it's a difficult one to call. I'd go with Cullen, but I don't say it with a huge amount of confidence.
Yeah, listen, you only go with Cullen because you go on recent form and last performances, etc. Yes, Zach Chell has had a win since that defeat to Mark Jeffers, but you know, you look at Cullen and that last performance against Mark Heffron and you say, listen, that was top class. You know, he got into a rhythm, he found his shots, and he took Heffron apart. You expect him to build on that now. He's won that British and Commonwealth title. But if these guys take off from where they left off, we're in for a barnstormer tonight.
But it's been a quiet start so far. No real telling punches thrown as yet in the opening minutes of this 12-round contest. Jack Cullen, trained nowadays by an outstanding champion of years gone by, Michael Jennings. Zach Chell from Fulham, paler skinned. I'm not quite sure whether Jack Cullen's got his by being under a sun lamp or whether it's some sort of dye that he's got on his skin, but he's a richly tanned individual tonight, Spenny.
Yep, he certainly is. The colour orange comes to mind, so yeah, I'm not sure that's a sun lamp. That may have come out of a bottle, but yeah, good double jab there. Good double jab there from Zach Chell. He's just holding centre ring. He's being patient. Jack Cullen moving around the perimeter of the ring, trying to find a rhythm, trying to find the jab, but just falling short at the moment. Timing not quite there at the moment from Cullen.
Moving into the last minute of this opening round, Jack Cullen with the splendid ring nickname of the meat cleaver from Little Lever. Zach Chell trying to get in low behind those long lead hands of Jack Cullen, trying to aim to the body. He's got to find a way of getting past that reach advantage of Cullen, but it's been a quiet opening round. Big swing over the top from Chell, just short of the target, taken I think on the arm of Cullen, who comes back with a couple of body shots as we move into the final 30 seconds of the opening round. Tempted left hook from Chell was well blocked by Cullen. Cullen, who stands tall, trying to make the most of his reach advantage. Jabs towards the body. Chell saw it coming and stepped back, tried to double up on his own jab, taken on the gloves by Cullen. And we're coming into the last 10 seconds of the opening round, and not too much between them, but Cullen trying to establish that left-hand lead, does land a nice sharp one with perhaps his last scoring punch of the round. How did he score it, Spencer?
Yeah, difficult round to score there, John. Neither guy really stamped their authority on it. I lean towards Jack Cullen because he was the one that just seemed to take the initiative with the last 30 seconds to go in the round. He started pushing forward, doubling up on the jab, falling short with that, but putting Chell on the back foot. So just leaned towards the champion in nicking that one, but both guys showing a lot of respect in there. Expect this one to warm up.
I think so, and Cullen, as ever, has got a good, loyal gathering of support in the crowd. They're going to be making themselves heard the further this goes. Always been a very popular lad, unassuming sort of character, and he's taking the advice in the corner from Michael Jennings, who's been a good influence on it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good team up there with Michael Jennings, who comes with a wealth of experience. Remember him losing to the great Miguel Cotto as well, you know, so he's been there, seen it, done it, boxed at the highest level. That's what you need in a corner in a fight like this.
So we go now into the second round. Again, Chell tried to get lucky with an overhand right, but couldn't find the target after Cullen had started the brighter in the opening seconds of this second round with a couple of fast jabs, trying to work. They both fight out of an orthodox stance. Chell throws punches with his gloves from a lower position by the side of his body. Cullen keeps those gloves up high and tries to vary his long left-hand lead to body and to head. There comes Chell again, trying to aim that right hand over the top, but this time Cullen slips inside it and holds him on, ties him up, and referee Michael Alexander has to split them.
Yep, Jack Cullen standing in front of Chell. He's trying to hold the centre of the ring, keeping those hands high. Chell moving on the outside, left hand carried low, looking to loop that right hand over the top. Another even round here at the beginning of this second.
I think Cullen in his fight against Mark Heffron surprised. Oh, good shot from Chell. Catches Cullen on the left-hand side of his face. Cullen takes it well, but that's the best punch of the fight so far. Good right cross that from Chell. And now Cullen, you can see why he wanted to keep his gloves up high, and that's an indication of the power and the hand speed that Chell has.
Yep, Chell showing some unpredictable style in there at the moment. Left hand low, whips that left hook over as well. Looking for the right hand over the top. Both guys starting to let their hands go now. But Chell is the one that's looking the more unpredictable in there at the moment, and that's causing Jack Cullen problems.
Worked as a supply teacher in the past, Zach Chell, and he'll have thought this one out. He'll be working on the tactics needed to unravel the skills of Jack Cullen, the tall, brown-bodied fighter from Little Lever. There's a hint of Donald Trump, actually, about that colour, isn't there?
Listen, I'm not sure that's brown. I think that's more of an orange, but let's move away from that as he stands centre of the ring, holding those white gloves up high. Chell again, whipping that right hand in, just missing the whiskers there of Cullen.
Cullen tries to hold on, tries to tie him up, and Zach Chell leaning on, trying to work away inside, in close, trying to get inside. That's perhaps where he sees that as the fight unfolds, maybe he'll have the most success. So he has got through with a couple of hooks already in this second round. Last 10 seconds, can he find another one? The power shot, unquestionably, from this round has gone with Chell, who waved his right hand as much as to goad Cullen to have a go. He doesn't, and so the bell goes to end the second round. First round you gave very narrowly to Cullen. How about the second?
The second round I give very narrowly to Zach Chell. You know, he was the one that had the success. He whipped in a couple of good left hooks. He was carrying that left hand low, looking for his opponent on the outside and winging that right hand over, throwing it like he was bowling a cricket ball, if you like, coming over the top of the shot, and it caught Jack Cullen. You just see the legs stiffen momentarily. Cullen got back into a rhythm, hands held high, but Jack Cullen at the moment not finding the rhythm, John, that we saw against Mark Heffron in his last fight.
You're listening to Fight Night Live on talkSPORT in partnership with William Hill. Get epic value all season with Williams Hill. And remember, 18+, begamblerware.org for all advice. Star-studded gathering here at ringside watching this as the bell now goes for the third. And we've got it level after the opening 2 rounds. That sort of a fight, and the sort of tight fight that we always imagined it could be.
Yeah, well, listen, we saw that back at 2020 Matchroom headquarters where these guys fought to a 10-round split draw. Zach Chell felt that he'd done enough in that fight. Cullen felt that he'd done enough as well. But guess what? They've taken off where they've left off. We can't split them here after 2 rounds. This fight is here for the taking. Neither guy stamped their authority just yet.
Quiet opener to the third. Left hand from Chell found the target, but almost simultaneously Cullen also landed with a left jab. And now Chell just pawing towards Cullen, who lands a harder straight left of his own. Chell feinting to throw, and Cullen short of the target with a left hand and a right cross. Both of them just struggling to find the telling punches they'd want. The best punch of the fight so far was unquestionably that right hand from Chell in the second round, but there's not been too many more of note.
Yeah, Chell just looking to counter punch on the outside. Jack Cullen is the one that's walking forward, even though he's the taller of the two. He's 6'3", and he's keeping those hands high, looking to push that pace, trying to push forward, trying to find some rhythm here, Jack Cullen. He really can't find it at the moment. There's no fluidity about his work. He's pushing forward, falling short of the target, and that's suiting Zach Chell, who lands another big right over the top.
And as he did so, Cullen got in with a right uppercut of his own. It's that sort of a fight, but Chell is making it awkward for Cullen in the manner that he said he would as we move to the final minute of this third round. And remember, we had it level after the first 2 rounds, and Cullen keeping those white gloves high. A couple of jabs from Chell, taken on the gloves by Cullen. Chell gets inside, tries to throw a left to the body. Cullen ties him up, and there's a bit of an untidy looking maul, and referee Michael Alexander has to call break. The action underway once again, and there goes Chell this time. A jab and an attempted right over the top, but both of them, I think, was short of the target. Cullen also misses with a left-hand lead, but then in comes Chell with a left hook and a right, and the right certainly got through to the left-hand side of Cullen's head. And there's just, I think, enough in here at the moment to make Chell and his fans be optimistic.
Yeah, Chell's the one that's trying to force the pace here. He's trying to push forward. He's keeping his head down, trying to loop the shots over the top, which is probably the right thing to do against the taller fighter in Jack Cullen. Cullen keeping tall, keeping tight, looking to get off with a jab, slams one in there. Chell's boxing on the outside. Another close round there, John.
Yeah, another close one. I reckon Chell might just have got it. Let's get another viewpoint. Let's hear from Adam.
I agree, boys. I think you're calling it absolutely perfectly. What I'm finding with both guys, they're looking to do the exact same thing. They're looking for the opponent to go off first and then counter. I think Chell's getting the better of those exchanges. And when it does go off, when there is a little bit of action, what Chell's doing very wisely is that he's smothering the work very quickly. He's getting on top of that clinch, and he's smothering the work of Jack Cullen. Right now it is razor close, don't get me wrong, nobody's running away with this, but I've got Zach Chell up 2-1.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I think that's where I am as well. It's a messy affair in there at the moment. Styles not really gelling. Zach Chell has got a game plan. He's boxing on the outside, left hand low, looking to loop the right hand over. Cullen is the one that's trying to force the pace, standing tall and pushing forward, but not really getting into any sort of rhythm. This is a close one here, beginning of round 4.
And as we go into the round, you can notice a little bit of swelling around the left eyebrow of Zach Chell. So at least some of those punches of Cullen have been finding the mark, but he has got the sort of complexion which does show bruising Chell, and that, well, maybe we could be swayed a little bit too much by that sort of thing, as another quiet start to this 4th round. But a shot to the body from Chell, a left hand. Forward comes Cullen with a good left jab. Chell misses with an overhand left. He's really trying to wing in big punches, but this is better now from Cullen. Just trying to get into a rhythm, and brings a shot up to the head, shot to the body with a jab, and then whipped in a left to the head of Chell.
Yeah, nice work this from Cullen. He's finding some sort of rhythm. Just seemed to turn the screw here at the beginning of this 4th round, and for the first time in the contest, we see Zach Chell complaining to the referee.
Well, fighters, I think, always like to see opponents moaning to refs, because when they're looking for an extra man in there to help them out, I think people sometimes take heart from that sort of thing, and Spenny just nodding in agreement of that one. He'd know all about that from back in his fighting days, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Listen, sometimes you look at that referee and it's nice that he does give you a little favour, a little breather, and you get on that side, and you know, that's experience there that Chelly's doing that. He's recognising that it's maybe not going his way, so looking for a little help from the referee, but the referee on this occasion not having any of it. Back to the action, Chelly again, boxing outside, left hand low, right hand just carrying it in front of his chin, looking to loop that shot over of the taller figure in Jack Cullen.
Cullen up on his toes, trying to create a mobile target, just dances back away from attempted jab from Cullen. From Chelly rather. Better work from Cullen. Another jab. Chelly giving a bit of ground and just starting to breathe a little bit harder in this fourth round. Tries to throw a left hook of his own and then a right hand to the body, and the two clinch, hold on, and the referee splits them once more. It's another close round. This is going to be one of those fights which is so subjective. I suspect it's going to be down to what catches your eye and what you're looking for in a fight, and there's not a lot to split them. Right hand again from Chelly, but it came low, but then he does land a right hand of his own inside as the referee has to split them once more.
Yep, John, you're right in what you say there. Subjective scoring here is what you go for, what you like, and so we could see some controversial scoring again. This is very, very close. Cullen trying to push forward. Chelly lands a couple of good jabs, one of those sends ahead, back of Cullen. Maybe another round there from Zach Chelly, but this one's close.
Well, maybe, maybe not. Let's listen in and see how the Zach Chelly corner is reading this.
First minute there, all right? He played his game. He went for a fight. That ain't the plan, is it? Last minute, beautiful. Don't win that first minute again, yeah? That's fucking stupid. Don't need to do that. Keep it simple. Right, you got a better jab than him. You're faster than him. Keep establishing it, and an opportunity will present it. Why walk into his ambush? Why give him that? Right, you're smarter than him. Right, how you feeling? Good. Brilliant. Get back on that jab, mate. That right hand at the end was class. Why was it class? Because it was fast. Right? How do you feel? Stand up early. Let him know.
Well, they're fancying it quite clearly, and as ever, apologies if there's anything said in the corner which is not totally acceptable in the finer circles.
Listen, you're always going to get that in the corner when you get a fight of this magnitude, you know, with so much on the line here for the winner, British and Commonwealth champion. That is what is at stake here, and at this stage of both of these guys' careers, there's a lot on the line. 4 rounds gone, 2 apiece. That's the way that we're seeing it. Who's going to take the initiative here in the 5th round?
It really is up for grabs, not a lot between them as they move on now into this 5th. 30 seconds gone. Chelly falls short with a left jab, fighting with green shorts tonight, and Cullen in the mauve and purple shorts. Left hand from Chelly, partially blocked by Cullen, who tries to throw that jab again. He really is trying to work hard, trying to establish that left jab, which is so important in bringing the victory against Mark Heffron. It was a terrific left hand which handed that one. He'd love to find something similar now, but again, Chelly's right in his face, stifling the work, and the referee has to split them.
Yeah, Mark Heffron may be an easier target to hit than Chelly. Chelly coming in from crouching low, looking to wing the right hands over the top. He seems to have this right here. He's got a game plan, slams the jab in the face of Cullen there as well. Cullen's the man trying to force the pace, not finding any rhythm. Chelly looking for the counter punch on the outside. Another close round here, John.
Chelly waiting for Cullen to commit himself. He has that right hand cocked, waiting to throw it, feinting to throw it, and then he does. The right hand over the top, but only a glancing blow into the shoulder of Jack Cullen. Referee splits them. Action underway again. Chelly all the time looking for the big right hand, but brings in, whips in a left this time. Through the right hook, and then brought in a left uppercut, and another good straight left hand from Chelly, who's landing some quality punches in this 5th round as they move into the final minute.
Yeah, left eye now of Cullen starting to swell up a little bit. Good work here from Zach Chell. He's found the range with a jab. He's getting through for the right hands. For the first time in the contest here, Jack Cullen just looking a little bit ruffled, a little bit unsettled. Could this be the turning point for Zach Chell? He needs to build on this now. Big jab goes in the game.
We wanted to see a moment where one or the other is going to establish some sort of dominance, and Chell's trying to come on strong here in the closing seconds of the fifth. Off the ropes comes Cullen, advancing, but he takes a couple of jabs as he does so and doesn't throw anything before leaning on, as does Chell, and the referee Michael Alexander splits them again. The left eye of Cullen is getting worse by the second, and it might be that there's a cut in there as well. We'll have a closer look at that between rounds, but that is a Chell round, and there is work that they're going to have to do on the face of Jack Cullen in that corner.
John, let me tell you that for the first time in the contest, there was a bit of clear day there, a bit of daylight between the two of these fighters. Jack Cullen, for the first time, I'm looking at him, he started fighting down on his gum shield, started to feel a little bit sorry for himself in there for the first time. He needs to turn this round. This is where the corner is so important. They need to have a word. They need to pump him up. They need to get him back out there, because that was a big round for Zach Chell there, and he will look to build on that. He's that sort of fighter. I'm looking across the ring at him now. He looks pleased with himself. He's nodding. He's up for it. Look in the opposite corner, and they're working on that eye. There is a cut over the eye there of Jack Cullen. And let me tell you, he's not looking happy with himself right now.
It's his left eye, and they've smeared some grease above that. They were trying to work on the swelling, and there was a little nick as well. I don't think there's any blood at this stage coming out of that eye, but it is getting worse. And we're now going into the sixth round, and for the first time, as Spencer was saying, signs may be that Zach Chell is just starting to ease his way ahead in this fight. Cullen needs a decent round, that much is certain. He's keeping his gloves up high. Chell dancing around the perimeter, throws in a jab from range. Nothing coming back from Cullen, who telegraphs his attempted right hand into the body, and Chell was able to block it easy, and now gets inside and tries to work away to the body of Cullen, who holds on, and the referee splits it.
Yep, Chell just seems to be oozing confidence in there right now. The hands have dropped. He's doubling up on the jab. There's a new found spring in his step as he loops the right hand over, drills the left hook to the body as well. Cullen just with his hand tight, pushing forward, less coming back. Turning here is Zach Chell, turning the screw.
Jack Cullen was ecstatic with joy to win those titles earlier this year. And is he going to surrender them at the first attempted defence? Tries to throw a chopping right hand, missed, and then back comes Chell with a left hand and right hand, which both found the target. Cullen misses again with an attempted left hook, and there's a little bit of a swagger about the work of Chell now as he comes inside and ties Cullen up, but he was almost inviting Cullen to come at him and looking to hit him with counters as he does so. And again, even as I spoke, another couple of left hand, under right hand, both found the target.
Yep, newfound confidence there in Chell's work. We can see that as he gets pinned in the corner, the far corner away from us, blue corner, hands down, he's slipping, he's sliding, he's moving, turns his man around. There's a real real swagger about his work in there right now.
Is he going to be able to maintain it? Cullen, again, far short of the target as he tried to throw a right hand. Well short as well, just whistled through the air here in the arena here in Liverpool. Good crowd here for this as they move into the final 30 seconds of the sixth, and it's Chell who's trying to up the pace again. It was he who landed a little flurry of punches and then doubles up on the jab and comes inside and stifles anything that Cullen might have been able to do by way of riposte.
Yeah, 15 seconds left in this sixth round, and you can see now there's a real confidence, a real swagger about Chell's work in there right now, and for the first time you can see, you know, daylight between these two. Cullen looking a little sorry for himself as he pushes forward, misses with a jab. End of the sixth round, and another round for me for Zach Chell.
Well, it'll be interesting to hear from the Cullen corner about what they're going to do with this. Michael Jennings is up there giving instructions. Don't know if we can go in there and listen. I think we can. Let's listen in.
Nothing's happening, I'm not bothered. Bring him on. You listening? Yeah. Go and kick there if you want it. Vibes in that, cruise like a four-wheel driving that. Take time, everything's live in that. Bar AJT's on the mic and that. I said, vibes in that, cruise like a four-wheel driving that. Take time, everything's live in that. Bar AJT's on the mic and that. Good shots. Bring him on to you then.
The side jab.
Not a lot being said in there really, but I think it's as much as anything just trying to keep him calm, trying to keep him focused, Spencer, because they must know that the last couple of rounds haven't been too good.
John, let me tell you, mate, they was not a happy corner. Trust me when I say that. He was there, and I don't think Jack Cullen was looking very pleased with himself, nor was Michael Jennings, the trainer. They know that they've got to turn things around here because this fight is starting to slip away as we hit the halfway point. Cullen needs to do something now. He's lost the last couple of rounds on my scorecard, and he needs to go back in there, stamp his authority, and pull himself back into this contest.
Well, remember, there are 3 judges here, but Spencer and I have got this one in Zach Chell, the challenger's favour at this point, by 4 rounds to 2. I'm told that the viewers' verdict of those watching on Sky Television was closer. The viewers had it just by a single point, but I think there's a unanimity around the ringside here that Zach Chell is ahead. Quieter start to the 7th round, but then Chell comes in with that swinging right hand, and once again he finds the target, which is the head of Cullen, and another one. Right hand, the hook this time, and that was a sharper, shorter punch, and that had more effect.
Yep, Cullen looked a little unsteady there. Big right hand went in, he just forced Cullen back, and Cullen starting to look a little sorry for himself, looking marked up there, and there's a real sense of confidence there.
But back he comes, landed a good left hand of his own, and that'll give heart to his fans here at ringside, because it was Chell that time who was forced to give a little bit of ground, and now there's a maul in front of us. The referee splits them, and it's getting into that stage of the fight. Strong man, tough man, conditioning, desire, it's all about that. And he comes out of a clinch, Cullen, and lands a couple of straight left hands. I think that Chell maybe thought the referee was going to intercede, and he didn't do so, and as the work rate dropped and Chell's hands dropped, it was Cullen who was able to land a couple of scoring punches.
Yep, just into the last minute now of round 7, and you see Cullen there just trying to push it, trying to turn it around, now starting to become a psychological battle. Both guys, it was nip and tuck for the first 4 or 5 rounds. Chell's had a good couple of rounds there, and Cullen recognises he needs to find something, he needs to turn it around, and he's doing well here. He's landed some good shots to the head and body. Chell comes back with a body shot of his own. Action really heating up.
Yeah, fair play, he needed to do this, having probably surrendered the last couple of rounds. There's good work from Chell though, doubling up behind his own left jab as he goes back to the corner right in front of our commentary position. Up on his toes, Cullen commands centre ring, misses with a left hook, and it's Chell who comes inside, comes close, and there's yet another clinch. It's sometimes not been a pretty fight, this one, but this has been a big effort from Cullen in that round, and Adam, it may be that he's just clawed his way back a little bit there.
Absolutely more effort in that round. I personally thought that the cleaner, more effective work was coming out of Zach Chell's corner, if I'm dead honest in that. I thought right at the start of the round Chell was in charge, and there was a moment in the middle of it where Cullen landed and it seemed like he had a little bit of momentum and then didn't capitalise on it. He took a backward step and allowed Zach Chell just to regain his thoughts and get back on his jab, duck, weave, get out of the way of shots that were coming his way. And I thought that cleaner, effective work as the round was closing were going towards Zach Chell. He's just got to get himself into some type of rhythm, Jack Cullen. Otherwise, he could find himself on the losing end of this fight.
Do you know what? I recognise what it is, and that's what it is with Jack Cullen. It's like you can leave no stone unturned. You put all the work in, you do your road work, you do your sparring, everything's gone perfect. On the night, it just doesn't come together. Cullen seems to be having one of those nights where he seems to be forcing it, he's pushing it. We saw it against Heffron last time where he slipped into rhythm, he found the jab straight away. He hasn't found the range with a jab tonight, he's been falling short and he's forcing the pace. This is close, John.
Well, can he do so now? Can he find some rhythm? Because he surely needs to do so. They always say to take a title, to beat a champion, you maybe have to win a little bit more emphatically than if it had been the other way round. But the round begins with Chell landing a couple of good left-hand leads. They're the best punchers of the first 45 seconds of this 8th round. It's a 12-rounder, remember, for the British and Commonwealth super middleweight title. Championship boxing that you're listening to on 5 Night Live with talkSPORT. William Hill get epic value all season. This broadcast being brought to you in partnership with William Hill. Good fight as well, close fight.
Listen, they took off from where they left off back in 2020, Matchroom headquarters, the back garden. We couldn't separate them then over 10 rounds. With 7 rounds in here, it could go one way, could go the other way. For us, Chell, just with his nose in front, just winning it here. But this fight to be won and lost, you know, in these last 5 rounds, it could go anyway, John.
Who's going to establish dominance from here on in? This one is still very much there for the taking. Good jab from Cullen lands, but then 2 from Chell. Doubles up and then holds on, clasps on and denies Cullen the space to provide anything by way of a riposte. And the 2 of them now are centering once again. Bobbing this way and that, Cullen tried to whip in a left hook, and Chell was able to block it and now lands with his own left lead as Cullen comes in closer. Still, we look for the big dominant round which could emphatically push this fight one way or the other. Is it going to come?
Yeah, Cullen's found the second wind. He's got a second wind. He's up on his toes. He's found a new spring in his step. You just see it turning of the tide. As I say that, Chell lands a big right hand, forces Cullen back. He's seen that. He matched it. Both guys going for it here.
And he almost swung himself off his feet, Chell, with a big left hand. And there's a right hand goes in from Chell. Good scoring punch. Never too much reaction from the crowd when Chell lands. There's certainly more supporters on the side of Jack Cullen. And yet again, there's a clinch in front of us. And the referee has earned his money tonight, Michael Alexander. He splits them and the action underway once again. Couple of jabs from Chell. And has he done enough to win this round? It's a close one. Close one once more. We're going to go into the Chell corner at the end of this round and see whether they think that their man is doing enough. Could be some interesting words being used here. Stand by.
Certainly could. 8 rounds down, and I can't separate these 2 at the moment. Both guys are having their successes. No one really snapped their authority. Let's see if we can hear in the corner here.
5 deep breaths. How do you feel? Good. Do me a favour in this round. What? In this round, switch it once and double chip game. Just once. Right, I know it's hard, he's on the back foot. Just try it once a minute. Right? When you're throwing that jab with speed, you're landing. The best shots in that round with your fast right hands. What about throwing something off them? A Rios, a left hook, a Golovkin. Right, something off them. Right? Don't give him the opportunity to wrestle with him. Right? Because that's giving him breathing.
Too much away, Spencer. I have to say I found it awfully difficult to separate them yet again in that round. Who did you score it to?
Listen, I had that round there just going to Chell, but you know, it's a tough one. It's a really tough one to score here. It could be a round-up, Chell. It could be level. It's one of those fights. Is Cullen winning the fight? Probably not. He's the one that seems to be forcing it. He's the fighter that's fighting with more desperation around what he's doing. There's more urgency about his work. He can't be slipping into a rhythm.
He needs to be busy now. He's got to dominate the latter stages of this fight, I sense, if he's going to keep this title. Left lead from Chell, finds the target, tried to follow up with a left hook. They lean on and they split once again. I've got Chell ahead on my card. Whether the judges will agree or not remains to be seen. Cullen lands a left jab, and again Chell tries to throw that right over the top, and it wounds up with a rather unpleasant-looking hugging contest. Now look at your scorecard there as well, Spencer, and you've got it just in Chelly's favour, but it's close.
Yeah, very close. Chelly just doing enough maybe on the rounds just to nick its subjective scoring. Like I say, John, could be going one way or the other. The aggressor, the presser, Jack Cullen, he's pushing forward, can't find any rhythm, no fluidity about his work. Chelly boxing on the outside, hands low, big right hands over the top, like the one he just delivered there, but maybe that's enough to be winning these rounds.
Well, he repeatedly tries to swing that right hand here. Look, here comes Cullen as Chelly ducks low, tried to catch him with a couple of left hooks, maybe with the inside of the glove. The referee has to split them, and now they're underway once again. Both of them miss with left-hand leads, and once more there's a clinch, a little bit of a wrestling contest. They're separated. Cullen misses with a left jab, and in comes Chelly again, holding on, his arms clamped around the back of the taller Lancastrian, Jack Cullen. Still to come, of course, our main event tonight, the world title fight between Natasha Jonas and MIKAELA MAYER. That's following immediately after this British and Commonwealth super middleweight title fight. Left jab from Chelly. No great snap or power in it though, and it was partially blocked. Then a couple of jabs by way of riposte from Jack Cullen. Into the final 30 seconds of the 9th round. One big attack one way or the other here could take it for either man.
Yeah, absolutely. This round again very, very close. As I say that, Zach Chelly doubles up on the jab, lands him flush on the chin there of Zach Cullen. Cullen comes back with a good shot of his own. He can't split these two right now. Shot for shot, blow for blow. Chelly holding the centre of the ring, hands down, gritting down on his gum shield. Cullen just falls back to the ropes. Another close round here, John.
It is indeed. I know Callum Simpson is sitting at ringside hoping that he might get a shot against the winner of this one for the title, and he's sitting with Ali Drew.
Callum, after 9 rounds, how are you seeing this one?
I'm probably seeing it with 2 rounds to Chelly, 2 rounds to Cullen, and 7 rounds to Chelly, to be honest. There's not much in it in terms of boxing ability, but I think Chelly's just doing a bit more work.
Are you eyeing up the winner of this fight?
Yeah, definitely. I've just been telling Sky that if I were in there, it'd be over already. You know, I've not been too impressed by either of these two, so I look forward to fighting the winner.
Do you think that that's what you're wanting next?
I think I'll be fighting. I think I'll have one fight before them, and then I'll hope to get the fight the winner in summer.
Brilliant, thank you.
Well, we will see. He's watching on and not too impressed with what he's watching. And sometimes styles make fights, don't they? And they've not really blended to make something attractive here tonight.
Yeah, this is, it's very difficult for these styles. Both guys are having their successes. Zach Chelly is the one that's probably coming off the best of the two, and maybe just thinking these rounds. 3 rounds to go. I've got Zach Chelly 3 up. So for me, the champion here, Jack Cullen, needs to do something. He needs to start rolling the dice, John, and taking a gamble.
Little Lever's meat cleaver needs something special. He needs to land some big punches, and he's not able to find them so far in this 10th round. Misses with a left hand. Chelly up on his toes, tries to spear him from range with a left hand lead. Cullen comes short with a left hand of his own and another. Neither of them find the target, and then it's Chelly who doubles up with a couple of lefts. Who's going to be able to find something big in a scoring shot in the closing stages? Right hand to the body from Chelly, and there was a right to the head, which was a cuffing blow which found its way through. The Cullen corner's done a pretty good job with that damage round the left eye. That's not hampered him as much as I feared it was going to at one stage.
No, they stopped the streaming of the blood coming from that left eye, but the face is looking a bit battered, a bit bruised. As I say that, Chelly biting down on his gum shield, forcing Cullen back to the ropes, winging away to the body, winging away to the head, just trying to get this over the line here, Chelly. He said it was close last time. He felt he won the fight. The decision could have gone his way, and you can see the way he's fighting here. The desire. He wants this right now, and he may be just running away with it, John.
Well, we've got Chelly ahead here in this 10th round. Cullen needs something big in the remaining minutes. Is he going to be able to find it? Not throwing any punches at the moment, 2 of them just feinting. There's a jab from Chell, taken on the gloves, and then Cullen ties him up, tried to throw a left hook as they moved away from that, but unable to do so. And it's Chell who gets a little word from the referee saying, come on, let's keep the action going into the final minutes of the 10th round. Another couple of jabs from Chell, both short of the target. Cullen waiting for the opportunity. He's not really thrown that right hand with any sort of authority. And again, there's an untidy maul. There were punches landed as they fell into each other.
Yep, left hook, right hand landed, and it landed up from Chell. Cullen, the one just coming off second best here. 30 seconds to go, round 10. And like I say, Jack Cullen needs to start doing something. As I say that, he's standing in front of us, holding the centre of the ring. Chell working on the outside, hands down low, but he's the one finding the success.
Who's going to find the big punches in the closing minutes of this fight as they move towards the last 10 seconds of the 10th? Jab from Cullen and another one. Chell, right hand over the top, and that found the target, and Cullen holds on. Referee splits them, and that was a big punch to end the round for Zach Chell. Is he easing towards a performance which is going to take the title? Let's have the thoughts of Adam Catterall.
I believe he is. I was listening to Callum Simpson's assessment in between the last rounds, and I thought he was absolutely spot on. I think Zach Chell is walking this at the moment. Cullen needs to find a shot. He needs to at least drop Chell in these next 2 rounds. Otherwise, we're going to be crowning some British and Commonwealth champion coming out of that blue corner, let me tell you. I think he's been brilliant. I think the jab, don't get me wrong, there's not a lot of action, but the clean, effective work, the jab's on point, the timing is in the blue corner, whereas Cullen just hasn't got that timing going at all throughout the whole course of the night. He needs to find it in this next 6 minutes, otherwise he's going to be losing his titles, mate.
Yeah, totally agree with you. Cullen has just been trying to force this, he's been trying to find that rhythm, and he hasn't found it tonight. Zach Chell, in a tight contest, has just been stealing these rounds. 4 rounds up, 2 to go. For us, Cullen needs the knockout to keep that British and Commonwealth title.
Will he be able to find it? This, of course, is the build-up to our main event, Natasha Jonas against MIKAELA MAYER for the IBF welterweight title here at the M&S Bank Arena in Liverpool. That's following at the end of this fight, and we're now in round 11. The bookies for this one found it very difficult to split them. They had Cullen as a marginal favourite, but now, if you were giving odds now, I think you'd make him a fairly sizable outsider. He needs something big, and Chell comes inside, holds on, lands a right hand as he did so, and once again he stifles the work of Cullen, as he has done so often. Cullen, who likes to stand tall, likes to work from range, just hasn't been able to do so effectively enough for my way of seeing it.
Yep, Zach Chell's, unpredictability wins, and he's been very unpredictable tonight, moving around the perimeter of the ring, hands low, looping that right hand over, finding success. Jack Cullen's not found any sort of rhythm. He's been trying to force it. Tall, 6'3", stalking forward, hands high, but finding no rhythm, finding no target. And for us, Chell just running away with this.
Chell leans inside, landed a right hook as he did so, and there's a clinch which Cullen initiated, and the referee has a word with the champion and says, come on, let's get on with it, let's have some boxing in the minutes that are remaining. Good work from Chell, left hand towards the body and then a right over the top. And Cullen holds on, sways back into the ropes, but they separated their own volition. Jab from Chell, short of the target. Cullen trying to bob this way and that, but he's not really throwing enough telling punches as he does so. Feints to throw the right hand, misses with the left hand lead, now comes in with the right to the body, and it's Chell who ties him up and holds on. Minute to go in the 11th.
Yeah, Jack Cullen knows there's a bit of desperation about his work now. He's up on the toes, trying to show a little bit of kidology, trying to catch the judge's eye, but he's not done enough work in this contest. He needs to roll the dice here, throw the kitchen sink. He's got to take a gamble, because Chell doing the right thing, staying on the outside, keeping the distance, and maybe just stealing the rounds.
As ever, though, there is the caveat. We're seeing it that Chell is doing enough, but there are 3 judges, experienced men, sitting right at ringside, who will have their scoring as Chell finishes hard, body shots, and then he turns in Cullen and lands a right hand of his own. It might be that the judges are still seeing it differently. I don't know. We'll find out what the Champions Corner thinks at the end of this. We'll go into the Champions Corner, the red corner, and see what Jack Cullen's people are making of it, and whether Michael Jennings can find something to turn this one around the way we see it. Let's listen into the Cullen corner.
Get stuck. You're going to let that backhand go. You've not been letting it go, that. It's wide open for them counters as well, Jack. You need to be letting it go, son. Are you listening? We need a big round now. We need a big round, son. Are you listening? Come on.
I need to take 30 plus, Blackberry and Walking ones. Look, I left my phone on my babies. Silent mode, guys,
well, he says he needs a big round, but does he ever?
Absolutely. Listen, if there's ever a time when you need a big round, it is right now. This takes me back. Cole Frotch, Jermaine Taylor. Cole Frotch was well behind going into the last round, and he turned it around. He got the knockout on foreign soil. Well, guess what? Jack Cullen needs a little bit of that right now, because on our scorecard, he's well behind. He needs the knockout to win.
The big thing is he's got to let the punches go in the minutes remaining. Good left hand from Chell, first scoring punch of the round. Then Cullen doubles up with a couple of left hands of his own. There's a nasty maul, the referee splits them, and Chell backpedals, makes Cullen miss with an attempted left hook. Cullen with his gloves up high, misses with his left hand lead. Chell left hand, right hand to the body, and then once more leans on in a clinch, and for the up-teeth time the referee has to push them apart. Another attempted wild overhand right from Chell. There's no great science in that one. He was just trying to get lucky from range. And Chell now also is breathing hard. Cullen up on his toes, trying to look the fresher man in the closing stages of this. Maybe a little bit of Champions experience, kidology, trying to show that he's still got plenty left in there as they move into the second minute of this final round. Tries to whip in hooks, misses with them, and then a right hand over the top from Chell. I think that did find the target.
Yep, that's been the story in this contest, that Chell's been the one counter-punching, landing that right hand over the top. It's been rough, it's been tough. Both guys have had to bite down here, but you just get the sense Zach Chell is going to get this over the line unless Jack Cullen does something in this last minute and 30 seconds.
Well, it's going to go almost certainly now to the judges' cards. How are they going to see it? Shot to the body from Cullen, but Chell ties him up and turns around and goes back to centre ring, waits for Cullen to come, throws the left jab, just about found the target, short with another one, but then a right into the body from Cullen. You heard Michael Jennings between rounds saying, you've got to let those punches go, and he needs to find something big now, and he's going looking for Chell.
Yep, he needs to go and look for him. 50 seconds left on the clock, round 12. He's got to find something big here, Cullen. You just sense that he senses that he's pushing forward. Chell moving around the outside. He's starting to feel tired now. Mouth's come open, hands drop down. He's hanging in there. And Chell needs something special here with 30 seconds to go, John.
There's blood now trickling from that injured left eye of Cullen, and blood as well from his mouth as they hold on. But it's Chell who's really feeling the pace in this final 3 minutes. And Cullen has to find something now to try somehow to cling on to what he achieved against Mark Hepburn, fulfilling a dream by taking the British and Commonwealth titles. But is he surrendering them now? It's going to go to the judges' cards. Jab from Chell was a scoring shot. Cullen feinting to throw the right hand, doesn't do so. Both of them hold their arms aloft, but the more purposeful celebration appears to come from the Chell corner, and they really believe that their man from Fulham has done enough to take this title.
Yep, listen, little lever, meat cleaver, Jack Cullen, for me, let that slip away. He couldn't find the rhythm. Mr. Catman, he was falling short with a jab, he was falling short with a right hand. He was trying to force it in there tonight, and it just never happened to him. Zach Chelli was the one that had the game plan. The game plan was to be unpredictable, fight from a low stance, keep the left hand low, whip those right hands over, and guess what? It worked. And for me, that won him the fight.
He just had the timing. His jab was timed really well, lots of nice counters in there. There's not a lot of action to actually analyse that was clean and effective, because it was scruffy at times. They did fall into each other's arms, there was a lot of clinching, but the clean, effective work, without any shadow of a doubt, on a large percentage of those rounds, came from the blue corner and Zach Chelli. He's going to be here in Anu very, very shortly, unless the judges have had an absolute shocker.
I'm pretty sure that the Cullen corner know what the score is here. Michael Jennings and the very experienced Cullen corner. There was no real celebration at the end there, and I think that they fear that their man has lost the title, and certainly the man who's posing for the cameras, for the photographers, is Zach Chelli. Anxious time as ever as we wait for the cards to be tallied. This must be awful when you're in a fight, when you're waiting like this.
Yeah, listen, it's anxious times when you're like this, because I think Cullen knows, you can see the expression on his face. He's hoping that the judges have an absolute stinker here, because he recognised he worked so hard to get that British and Commonwealth title. He's had his ups, he's had his downs for his career. It's been a real roller coaster, and guess what? He may have just lost those titles tonight, but on the flip side, Zach Chelli has had a similar sort of career. You know, he's a guy that's always been willing to step up, fight anybody, anywhere, anyone's backyard. And tonight he may have just got his just rewards. We're just about to hear now from our MC, Mo.
Yeah, Big Mo is poised. The fighters are centering with the referee. To the right is the champion, Jack Cullen. To the left, the challenger, Zach Chelli. Here it comes.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 full championship rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for the official decision. Judge Howard Foster sees it 116 to 113. Judge Victor Laughlin sees it 116 to 112. And Judge John Latham sees it 115 to 114. Declaring your winner by unanimous decision, and the new British and Commonwealth Super Middleweight Champion, Zach Chelli.
Well, the judges didn't mess it up. It was a lot closer on some of those judges' scorecards than I would have liked, but the right man won. All three unanimous, pointed in the direction of that blue corner and to Zach Chelli. Congratulations to him, the new British and Commonwealth champion at super middleweight, defeating Jack Cullen. Still to come tonight is Natasha Jonas, defending her IBF welterweight world title against former super featherweight world champion MIKAELA MAYER. It's coming up next on talkSPORT.
It's the show that jabs you between the ears. Fight Night on talkSPORT, the home of boxing.
Natasha Jonas is just going to be world champion once again, guys. She's got a claim as the greatest fighter my city's ever produced.
Prepared to go to 147 and prepared to take on Natasha Jonas right away.
She puts her punches together. She varies her punches. You'll see jab, right hand, left hook, right to the body.
She's got, you know, good hand speed, good work rate, and yeah, good basics, but I just think everything that she does, that I do better.
Stylistically, this one has all the makings of a classic.
Jonas sprints over, mounts the corner post.
I feel like I'm the best and she feels like she's the best, and so we want to go in there and test ourselves.
And this is what happens when you put the best against the best. You get fights like this. Yeah, that last guy knew exactly what he was talking about. There you go, the best against the best coming up a little bit later on. We're in Liverpool tonight at the M&S Bank Arena for Jonas versus MIKAELA MAYER. The welterweight strap is on the line. You're listening to Fight Night Live on talkSPORT. Let's get the latest odds, shall we, with William Hill.
In the Zone on talkSPORT with William Hill. Get epic value all season with William Hill. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Joining us now to give us the latest odds is William Hill's Lee Phelps. Lee, what have you got for us, mate?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. Often fights we preview are called close, but the betting tells a different story. Not with this one. Natasha Jonas is 4-5 to win. MIKAELA MAYER evens. The draw is 16-1, and that could be a live play here, by the way. Jonas has 9 stoppages in her 14 wins. Mayer has 5 in her 19 victories. So you have to say the power is with the Brit, and the thinking is that she'll have to establish her power to get the former unified super featherweight world champion out of her rhythm early on. Jonas is a 2-weight world champion, of course, fighting in her home city, and although that can carry its own pressure, I expect it to give her the edge here. The fight is 1-7, 7-1 on to go the distance, but there's not much value in backing either of them to win in that fashion. I like Jonas by split decision. Mayer's only loss was the split to Alicia Baumgardner, and in her 2 toughest tests, the Liverpudlian had a close loss to Katie Taylor and a split draw against Terry Harper. Jonas to win in that way is 6-1 enhanced from 5-1, and that'll do for me.
Thank you very much, Lee. Much appreciated, mate. That was a look ahead to the latest odds in partnership with William Hill. Top price guarantee this weekend. Comparison with selected competitors and excludes enhanced prices. Further restrictions, terms and conditions apply. You've got to be over 18. begambleaware.org.
In the Zone on talkSPORT with William Hill. Get epic value all season with William Hill. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
We're moments away from the main event of Jonas versus MIKAELA MAYER here on talkSPORT. Very kindly giving up a few moments to come and join us. She was on our show last week. Great to have you back on, because I want your expert analysis of how this main event's going to play out. The one and only Lauren Price. I know you've got an eye on fighting the winner here. Who do you think it'll be, and how do you think they're going to do that this evening?
So for me, you know, I think it's a great fight. I think it's a 50-50 fight. I think obviously there's question marks with Mayer, you know, coming up at 147. But looking at her on the scales, it looks like she's filled out quite well. I've gone Jonas points win with her being in Liverpool, and you know she's boxed at 147 before, experienced fighter. I think obviously southpaw as well against an orthodox, which Mayer hasn't fought a southpaw before. So if I had to pick a winner, I'd say Jonas points.
From a Mayer point of view, we've seen her get dragged into dogfights every now and again. When she boxes, it looks really beautiful, but every now and again she digs her toes in. Is it important that she doesn't do that with Natasha tonight? Because the power, looking at both girls, you'd probably side with Natasha.
Do you know what, right? I think with Mayer, I probably disagree on that, because I think obviously she can have a dogfight because she's very good at front foot pressure. She throws in bunches and combinations. So for me, if I was Tash, I would be thinking, you know, opposite, outboxing Mayer on my jab. She's got a great jab, great backhand, and making her fall short onto them shots. And moving your feet around her, because for me, Mayer, you know, she has got quite slow feet. So I suppose from round 1 we'll see how that fight goes. It's very interesting. But looking at Tash, I think, you know, she should outbox her.
Yeah, I'm with Lauren on that one actually, and I agree with that. I think that Tasha is the one that doesn't need to get drawn into a dogfight here. Yes, she may possess the power, but we don't know what power MIKAELA Mayer's got at 147, because I've got to tell you, looking at her on the scales and interviewing her afterwards, I looked at her and said, how have you know, how did you box at 130? You're 17 pounds heavier, and you still had to lose 4 pounds to make the weight. That would have affected her punch power and punch resistance. So I think that, you know, I think that Tash has to fight this one smart. She's the southpaw, you know, she's the stylist. She needs to keep this at range, try and work those left hands, whip those right hooks over the top, because I think the dogfight will go in Mayer's favour.
Yeah, I agree with that. Mayer, you know, we've seen her in some dog fights, and when she does stand there, she lets her body shots off, and she does throw-away combinations well. So for me, if I was Jonas, you know, I'd be in and out using my movement, little angles, little circles, boxing off the centre, and yeah, working off my movement.
The division's red hot. Sandy Ryan, Jessica McCaskill, the two that's in there this evening, and obviously yourself. How many times have you been in Ben Shalom's ear this evening saying, "Oi, I'm next, bring me the winner"?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, I've had a little insight this week. So I can't announce anything yet, but I've been told April on possibly a big fight.
You can't do that to us, by the way. You can't
what are you
do that
doing?
to us.
Come on, Lauren.
So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, all that gets sealed and deal, and I'm very excited. And like I said, anyone at 147, you know, I'm ready for, and that's what I'm going for.
Just
titles.
answer this then. Is it in the UK?
Hopefully, Cardiff.
Okay,
that's what I want to hear.
Okay, I just need this. I just need this, yeah? Lauren Price, Olympic gold medalist, 6-0.
Yeah.
Please tell me, just tell me, is it a world title fight?
Maybe.
Oh my God, you can't tease us.
She's dropping bombs on the show, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, whilst we try and get that information out of her, let's get to Ali Drew, because she's with Liam Smith right now.
Liam, we are here in your home city of Liverpool for another historic fight night. What are you making of it so far?
Yeah, I think it's been a good show so far. I think Steve Clark making his pro debut was a great addition to the bill and a great addition to the pro ranks. Yeah, Zach Chell just beating Jack Cullen. And now obviously we've got the main event and the Golden Girl, Miss GB, next.
How good is it to see Tasha headlining tonight in Liverpool on such a huge fight, and it's going to be electric in here, the atmosphere?
It's great, you know, obviously I'm made up for her and buzzing for her, and she's getting everything she should be getting now, memorials around the city. You know, she's Liverpool, she's paved the way for women, she's broke barriers down, and you know, to become a mum and still have the career she's had after that, she deserves a lot of this.
You Scousers do make fighters slightly different, don't you?
Yeah, of course, obviously, you know, it's just, you know, success breeds success, Liverpool's a fighting city, all that, you know, but I just think everyone gets behind their own, and when you're a nice person, you're a good person like Tasha is, I think you're hard not to like and hard not to get behind, so, like I said, I think this just justifies the person she is, the fighter she is, and I hope she gets the homecoming she deserves.
Earlier on, about an hour ago, we spoke to Kell Brook, he was ringside, and he said that he would maybe come out of retirement to fight Chris Eubank Jr. That's the fight to sort of get him going. What do you make of that fight, and would you maybe want to get in there with Chris Eubank Jr. again before that?
Yeah, you know, obviously I've made it known to everybody who's asked and everybody who'll listen. I want the Eubank, you know, trilogy next, and it's basically the only fight, my biggest wish, everything. Eubank and Brook, I'm not really interested in. It's not to do with me. If they fight, it makes no difference towards me and my career. So if they fight, so be it. I'll have to choose a different route. Yeah.
You're wanting that trilogy?
Yeah, you know, look, ask me what I want next. It's Eubank before anybody.
Right, final prediction for the main event. Come on.
Natasha Jonas win.
Perfect, thanks Liam. Back to you, Adam.
There you go, former super welterweight world champion Liam Smith there, catching up with Ali Drew ringside. He's got his eyes firmly fixed on that showdown with Chris Eubank Jr, the trilogy. We were talking about this a little earlier on. Listen, it's a super fight. I'm sure a lot of people are into that. It would be good to see if Chris Eubank Jr can have a go at becoming a world champion at some point this year. and that fight absolutely will last. On my monitor right in front of me, MIKAELA Mayer's ready to make her ring walk. Before we get to those ring walks, let's get a quick catch-up with the man that's put this night on tonight. Ben Shalom is with Ali Drew.
Ben, what a fight night you have put on tonight. Just how good is it to be here back in Liverpool?
Amazing. We've been here a few times, but when Tasha was here last time, obviously it was Fifi headlining, but to get her headlining here, first female ever to headline this arena, they love her here. It's just been over the past 2 years, this is everything that we worked for, to become a multi-weight world champion, and now she gets a legacy fight here. Obviously nervous. I think it's one of those fights that could go either way. Who's going to perform on the night? How's MAYER going to be at this weight? Is she going to be slower? How's she going to face a southpaw for the first time? So, fight's got everything, but I think those early rounds are where it's going to count.
Just a word on the atmosphere. It's suddenly gone very loud in here. Can barely hear ourselves talk. But we've got a huge year for Boxer coming up. In just a few weeks, we've got another big fight, which is finally happening. Aziz Bouatsi, and going to be live on talkSPORT. That's an exciting one coming up.
It's a huge fight. As you said, very disappointing to what happened last year. So to get it back on, and you've got Adam Azim, Ben Whittaker and Caroline Dubois all on that card. Future stars, hopefully. I think one day we'll look back and think, wow, Adam Azim, Ben Whittaker and Caroline Dubois were all on the same card that night. But Bouatsi Aziz is a huge fight for British boxing. Obviously, really, really glad that we're back on.
Well, the main event is about to start, so enjoy it. Final prediction?
Jonas, round 8.
Thanks, Ben. Back to you, Adam.
Cheers, Ali. Ben Shalom there, alongside Ali Drew there, who's put tonight's show on. And of course, in a couple of weeks' time, we're going to be enjoying that light heavyweight clash between Dan Aziz and Josh Bouatsi. But you can hear Big Mo in the background making the big announcements. Here comes MIKAELA Mayer.
I have to win this fight, to take back control of my destiny.
I like it. The Beatles fan that is MIKAELA Mayer. She unified the super featherweight division with relative ease. When it came to the undisputed showdown with Alicia Baumgardner, she could count herself very unlucky not to get the nod on the scorecards. And with there now being a cloud of the cleanliness of her opponent's performance that night, the only loss on her record can have its validity argued. She's up at 147 for the first time in her professional career, but watching her all week, she looks well suited to it. An opportunity tonight for her to be crowned a two-weight world champion and set herself up with the possibility of an all-American unification showdown with Jessica McCaskill. How does MAYER approach tonight is the key question, because she does have a tendency to revert to type and have a bit of a scrap, which could be food and drink to Natasha Jonas, but then it could be food and drink to MIKAELA Mayer too.
And her opponent, the champion from Liverpool, Natasha Jonas.
Be prepared for the best version of you, and you better be prepared for the best version of me. Let's go together.
You are a God imagine. You are a true perfection. Baby, you made the stars, don't let nobody tell you different. You are a lot of soul. mixed with a lot of magic. Look how the sky turns gold every time you dance. You deserve all the love. Why don't you?
An incredible touch on this ring walk from Natasha Jonas, recently inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. Jane Couch carrying one of Natasha's world titles, in fact the world title at welterweight, to the ring as it stands right now, as Natasha stands right at the top of the ring wall, about to make her entrance into the M&S Bank Arena here in front of her home fans of Liverpool. The first woman to represent Team GB at the Olympic Games makes her 18th professional ring walk as the dulcet tones of Beyonce ring out, as they always do. This career has been an absolute rollercoaster. At 37 years of age and 2 failed world title attempts on the resume, many believed their career was well and truly over. The dream of becoming world champion was done, but Natasha teamed up with Chell to give it one last roll of the dice, and 2 years later, it has been sensational. Up to super featherweight, super welterweight, should I say, to grab 3 of the world title belts, and now back down at 147, where she's currently the IBF champion. How long will this Indian summer last? This would be her biggest win today and could set up a showdown, a unification with the likes of Sandy Ryan and Jessica McCaskill. She might need her hometown tonight as she steps up to the apron and into the ring, dressed in Team GB colours. The red, the white and the blue of the Union Jack draped on her shorts, alongside Jane Couch. And here's Big Mo.
And now, for the United States of America and the United Kingdom, to perform both the Star-Spangled Banner and God Save the King, please welcome Emily Haig.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, see, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the and the home of the brave? God save our gracious King. Long live our noble King. God save the King. Send him victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your main event of the evening. Scheduled for 10 2-minute rounds. It is for the IBF Welterweight Championship of the World. Promoted by Ben Shalom and boxer in association with Top Rank Boxing, brought to you live worldwide on Sky Sports and ESPN by our headline partner Bet365 and our official partners Everlast, Wow Hydrate, and Integritas Property Group. Our supervisor in charge, Massimiliano Bianco. Our steward in charge, Robin Smith. Our timekeeper, Phil Morris. And our judges at ringside, Michael Alexander, Frank Lombard, and Diana Drews Milani. So, Liverpool, I need you all to get up out of your seats, raise your drinks high, and get wild. Let's meet the fighters. First, the challenger, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the dark red trunks with gold trim. She stands 5 feet 9 inches tall. She weighed in at 10 stone, 6 pounds, 5 ounces. She holds a professional record of 19 victories versus just 1 defeat, with 5 of those wins coming by way of knockout. And she fights out of Las Vegas, Nevada, by way of Woodland Hills, California, USA. Introducing the former IBF, WBO, and Ring Magazine Unified Super Featherweight Champion of the World. Ladies and gentlemen, here is MIKAELA MAYER. Champion, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the white trunks with blue, orange, and black trim. She stands 5 feet 8 inches tall. She weighed in at 10 stone, 6 pounds. She holds a professional record of 14 victories versus 2 losses and 1 draw, with 9 of those wins coming by way of knockout. And she fights right here in Liverpool. Introducing the former WBC, WBO, and IBF Unified Super Welterweight Champion of the world, and the reigning, defending IBF Welterweight Champion of the world, ladies and gentlemen, Miss GB Natasha Jonas. Our referee in charge when the bell rings, Howard Foster.
Okay, spoke to you both in the dressing room. You both know I expect. Keep it clean, break straight away when told. Both you watch your heads in close. Good luck to you both. Touch gloves.
Well, the decibel levels have just gone up a touch. Will the Indian summer continue for 39-year-old Natasha Jonas, or is this the start of a new season at welterweight for MIKAELA MAYER, who is about to gain the biggest win of their career so far? Calling you through Jonas versus MAYER live on talkSPORT. It's Spencer Oliver, but first, John Rawlins.
Thank you very much, Adam. This is the one we've been waiting for, and who's going to make the fastest start? MAYER usually is busy and likes to fight on the front foot. Jonas may be the stronger puncher, and she starts well with a nice shot to the body. Left hand from Jonas finds the target. Nothing back from MAYER as yet, who's got the height and reach advantage. She's standing tall, centre ring, tries to throw a right hand into the body of Jonas, and then Jonas comes back with a left of her own. Jonas some 2 or 3 inches shorter, I would estimate, although the official measurement suggests that MAYER is only an inch taller. That's good work from Jonas. Good body shots, rights and lefts. Good hand speed in the early stages as they move towards the conclusion of the opening minute, and Jonas has done what she wanted to. She's made a really nice, bright, quick start.
Yeah, brilliant start there from Natasha Jonas. As I say that, MIKAELA MAYER lands a good right hand of her own, but Natasha Jonas moving around the perimeter of the ring, up on her toes, targeting the body, landing good shots to the head as well. Good, positive start here for Miss GB.
MAYER with the reach advantage, trying to walk her down on the far side, and she did get through with one good quality left-hand lead, and now Jonas is backpedaling centre ring. MAYER not as biddy as Jonas in the opening round. Last 30 seconds coming up. Is Jonas going to be able to catch the judge's eye? And she does so with a good left hand to the body. MAYER tried to throw a right hand counter but was short of the target.
Yeah, MAYER doing the thing here, stalking forward, hands high, trying to create an opening, feinting to the body, nothing really getting through. Great start here from Natasha Jonas, who's throwing the punches in bunches.
It certainly is, and a nice little right hand after the jab of MAYER. Last few seconds of the opening round, and it's an opening round which, beyond any shadow of doubt, has surely gone to the champion, Natasha Jonas.
Yeah, good positive start there for Natasha Jonas. She's moving around the ring, boxing out of that southpaw style, popping out the jab, switching the attacks to the body, doubling up on the body, coming over the top with shots as well. Jonas stalking forward, feet slow and just out of range. Good start there for the champion, Natasha Jonas. Now they'll want to build on that. Joe Gallagher in the corner, great tactician. He'll be giving her good, solid words of advice.
You're listening to Fight Night Live on talkSPORT in partnership with William Hill. Get epic value all season with William Hill. And remember, 18+, begambleaware.org. Interesting opening round, and Jonas unquestionably settling the quicker and the better. Good hand speed, good pressure, and she was the one who was outworking MAYER in the opening 2 minutes. Here we go into the second. Who's going to be able to impose here? And you'd feel that MAYER has got to do significantly more than she did in the opening round. Jonas fighting out of the southpaw stance. MAYER with the height and reach advantage fights out of an orthodox stance. In other words, she leads with her left hand.
Yep, good start here from MAYER, who's landed a good left hook, more urgency about her work. Good right hand goes in as well. Tash trying to box on the outside, trying to counter punch, but there's more urgency about MAYER's work here at the start of the second.
Well, there needed to be. She needed to step it up, and she goes to work to the body. Former world super featherweight champion, remember, MIKAELA MAYER, and she's doing better here in this second round, forcing Jonas backwards, and lands a solid right hand as she does so. And Jonas has to give ground. She takes it well, but it landed, and it landed clearly.
Yeah, big solid right hand went through the middle there. That's the key shot for a southpaw. And Jonas now, MAYER starting to lead off with that right hand. Lands that shot again. Jonas needs to get back in the driving seat, needs to start throwing her shots first. MAYER just having a better second round here.
A little bit more of a tentative approach from Jonas, who felt the weight of that right hand from MAYER, who's dominating this round, cutting the ring off well, and now moves forward, trying to capitalise, aims to throw the right hand, and again, first one did get through, second one blocked by Jonas, but MAYER dominating this second round, follows up behind the left jab, and Jonas is forced back onto the ropes on the far side. Now she tries to rally off those ropes, but this has been a good round for MAYER. Last 15 seconds of the round, Jonas turns her and tries to go to work to the body, and the crowd respond. You can hear them cheering on this great Liverpudlian hero here on the banks of the Mersey. Good shot again, left to the body from Jonas, but that's a far, far better round for MIKAELA MAYER.
Yeah, good shot on the bell there from Natasha Jonas, but a better round for MIKAELA MAYER. She was the one come out. You could sense there was more urgency about her work. She started leading off with those right hands, which is a key shot against the southpaw. She was getting through with that, following up with the hooks over the top, right hands again. Good round for the challenger there, MIKAELA MAYER. You just sense this one is starting to heat up. Which way is it going to go? Who knows at the moment? Good start from Jonas, but MAYER won round two.
And all the more on this one, Spenny, because at one apiece, whoever takes this round now, psychologically it can be really important.
Absolutely, this is really important, this round. Who's going to go out there? Who's going to take the initiative? A lot on the line here, John. This is about bragging rights, legacies. Both girls are looking for that big name. Big fight here.
It's a 10-rounder this for the IBF World Welterweight title. Natasha Jonas defending her crown. And we go now into the third. And Spencer Oliver and myself here at ringside, here in Liverpool, have it 1 round apiece. And it starts quickly. Good shot over the top from MAYER. And again, Jonas is forced to give ground against the bigger fighter, but she lands a right hand into the body and another right hand to the head of MAYER as MAYER comes in trying to force the pace, trying to be the boss off the front foot. And again, Jonas gives space and then counters with a right to the body. MAYER short of the target with a left hand and a right hand. Good work from Jonas. Little flurry of blows, right hand and left hand into the body, and another 2. And listen to the crowd as they respond to the local hero.
Yeah, good body work there from Natasha Jonas, really driving those shots, drilling the shots in. You can see the wincing on MAYER's face. MAYER comes back for a good right hand. The action really flowing one way and the other. Who's going to take this third round? An important round this. MAYER the one pushing forward, but Jonas countering well on the outside.
There's 45 seconds to go in this third, and forward comes MAYER again. Shots towards the head of Natasha Jonas, and she's flat-footed, MAYER, and she's turned in the corner by Jonas, who moves away expertly out of that corner, back to centre ring, and lands 2 more scoring punches. Less than 30 seconds to go in this third, but here comes MAYER. She had her trapped in the corner, but Jonas parried well and was able to land punches to box away out of the corner. And now forward onto the ropes comes MAYER, trying to put pressure on. It's been a close round. Jonas had the better of the early stages of the round, but MAYER has come on strongly as they come towards the bell, and well, that's a tight one. I wonder who took that one, Spencer.
Yeah, tight round there, like you say. Natasha Jonas started well, putting the combinations together, really drilling in those body shots. But MIKAELA MAYER, by the halfway point, she bit down on her gum shield, pushed forward, started grinding it out, landing the right hands, and started taking the initiative away from Natasha Jonas. John, I lean towards MIKAELA MAYER there. She's getting some sort of rhythm. She's finding the shots, and she's dragging Natasha Jonas in to that dogfight that she was looking for.
He's on a roll, Adam. You've got about 10 seconds.
He was flying, but I agree with everything that you've just said, Spenny. We are fighting MIKAELA MAYER's fight at the moment. That's what she wants. She wants to have a bit of a dogfight. This is going to come down to will over skill at a certain point here. It's shaping up beautifully.
And we are now heading towards the 4th round. Spencer gave that 3rd round to MIKAELA MAYER, and so has the American from Colorado Springs, leading by 2 rounds to 1 as we go into the 4th. 3rd round was a close one, though. Could have been an argument that it could have gone either way. Who's going to boss this 4th? The taller, bigger fighter, MIKAELA MAYER. Remember, stepping up in weight to fight at welterweight and challenge for a world title at 10 stone 7. She, though, doesn't appear to be sacrificing anything by way of power. She's throwing with weight in those punches.
Yeah, MIKAELA MAYER said that she was more suited at this weight. Boxing down at 130 was training her, taking her power, taking her strength, and she's showing good signs here. Round 4 of a 10-rounder. She's pushing forward. She looks strong, and she lands another good right hand.
And dare I say, at this point, MAYER looks the bigger and the stronger fighter. She's the one who physically seems to be bossing this, and now has Jonas on the ropes and lands 2 or 3 more heavy punches. Referee Howard Foster hasn't had a lot to do so far, but that time he did have to split them. Back comes Jonas, as you can tell by the roars of the local supporters. landing good body shots. Another left over the top. Here comes Mayer again, and the two going toe-to-toe. It was MIKAELA Mayer's coach who said that this could turn out to be a female version of Hagler and Hearns. Well, it's not quite at that level yet, but it really is warming up here in the fourth round. And who's going to get the better of this one? Jonas is trying to go with Mayer as she piles on the pressure.
Yeah, MIKAELA Mayer's trainer, Al Mitchell, he weren't far away there. He ain't a bad judge, and this is really heating up. Mayer biting down, pushing forward, forcing the pace. Big combinations going in here from Mayer.
That was a big attack from Mayer. Last few seconds and anxious moments for Jonas. Mayer goes back to the corner, and let's hear from that corner. She certainly dominated the closing seconds.
That jab for space in there, all right? And bang that body. You coming back good, all right? Sometimes don't pull out. Just drop down and dig down there. Them undershots now. Cause see how she's ducking down like that? Yeah. What we say? So under punches there, all right? You're doing excellent.
When you get on that rope, stop going so wide with your shots. Okay. Shorten them up right there because she's getting away.
You're doing good, baby.
You're doing
all
great.
Right?
Just remind yourself, when you're done with your combos, get back on defense, guard back up. Get it right? Guard back up side-to-side movement, okay? Avoid those counters.
And use the jab to get you there.
Yes.
Fake and a jab.
Jab is key. Jab is key.
That's the voice of 76-year-old Al Mitchell, one of the great coaches in American boxing. Coached the Olympic champion Dave Reed, if you remember him, and was a very, very well-respected coach for the United States team for several championships, several Olympic games, and now in the corner there with MIKAELA Mayer. And I think he's pretty pleased with the way things are going, because on our card, I think we've now got Mayer 3 rounds to 1 up, but that's better from Jonas. She needed some solid punches, and she's trying to go toe-to-toe. Here she comes.
Yeah, both girls trading off there. Mayer was happy to sit in the pocket. She was happy to trade with Jonas. Jonas is the one that looks like she's got the heavier hands. Southpaw style. Left hand through the middle, right hook over the top. And I tell you what, this is really heating up here because Mayer went straight back at her.
Mayer is looking for her. She had Jonas in trouble at the end of the fourth, unquestionably. And I thought at one stage she was really starting to pile it on and put Jonas into some very, very dangerous territory. But now Jonas is trying to regroup back in the centre ring, trying to slug it out with Mayer, who lands a very solid left hand, and Jonas has to hold on. She walked straight into that one, Jonas, but then she turns the American and lands shots to the body, right hand and the left hand. The power of them emphasised by the reaction of the crowd, who are giving her fevered support here. Let's hope she can feed off that one. But here comes Mayer again. Oh, good shot from the American. Into the body, and she has Jonas trapped on the ropes right in front of us. Jonas tries to tie her, tries to box her way free, but the better work there appeared to come from Mayer.
Yeah, a relentless pressure here from MIKAELA Mayer, stalking forward, hands high, working the body and the head. Jonas really having to dig deep here.
Well, these rounds are slipping away. She lost the last one. In fact, she lost the last 3 on my card, and she's struggling here as well in the closing seconds of the fifth. And Mayer looking confident as she almost struts back to her corner, and she feels that this is going her way, and having to work in the Jonas corner on some swelling above her left eye.
Yeah, there's a sense of confidence there over in the MIKAELA Mayer corner. There's a nice fluid movement around her work at the moment. She's really growing in confidence. Body shots, head shots. Natasha Jonas was having some success. She's tried to hold her ground. She's tried to hold her feet, whipping the shots into the head and body, tried to take the fight away from MIKAELA Mayer, and Mayer quickly turned it back around, pinning Jonas in the red corner, landing good right hands to the head, to the body. Jonas on my card just starting to fall behind. 5 rounds gone, 3 rounds up to MIKAELA Mayer.
Yeah, at least it may be that she's 4-1 up, because she really is looking as though she is dominating this one. We're into the second half of the fight now. We go now into the 6th round. Jonas has to really come on strong from here. viewers watching on Sky are suggesting that it's closer than we've got it, but we've got MAYER in a significant advantage as she bullies Jonas back. Jonas turns her in the corner on the far side and tried to pin her with a counter as she did so, but couldn't land anything of great note. Good work from Jonas. Body shots, right hand and the left hand, and the two of them really do go head to head now, winging in hooks, and then finally they lean on in a little bit of a clinch as we come towards the close of the opening minute of this 6th round.
I've got to say, both girls standing centre of the ring, trading blow for blow. What did Al Mitchell in the corner say, the trainer of MIKAELA MAYER? Hagler Hearns, well, guess what? We're getting that right now. Both girls putting it all on the line.
Well, it certainly is a thriller, and Jonas needs a big second half of the fight, for me, if she's going to turn this one around, if she's going to keep her title. And here comes MAYER again, leaning on, trying to use her superior size, but Jonas ties her up well and is back into centre ring, turns around. And now we wait to see who lands the next significant punch to move into the last 30 seconds of the 6th. MAYER trying to throw in big hooks, can't find the target. Jonas tied her up and again does so. This time gets her in an arm lock, then lands a slightly tired looking left hook towards the body. And is it this a little bit of the speed and the snap is going out of Natasha Jonas's work? She started so well in the opening round, and is her sheer speed, accuracy and snap starting to go. 6 rounds go. Let's bring out Amir.
What I'm noticing in every single round, there's a pattern at the end that MIKAELA MAYER is finishing every single round really solidly. Natasha's having moments, like for example in the last 2 rounds, you could, at certain points, if it finished after 90 seconds, you probably say that she won it. But the last 30 seconds are absolutely going in MIKAELA's favour. She's relentless, she's coming forward, she's letting her hands go, and she's landing good, solid shots. Natasha has to hurt her in order to turn the tide of this fight. She had success early doors with nice feet, really good output, but it's MIKAELA MAYER's fight to lose right now.
Listen, this is exactly what we said. MIKAELA MAYER likes getting down in the trenches. She likes gritting down. That's her fight, a dog fight. We said it before the first bell rang. Natasha Jonas has to be careful she doesn't get drawn into one of them. Well, guess what? MAYER is drawing her into that. She's making it her fight, and that's the difference right now. Tash has to turn this around.
She needs to box her way through this. She needs to shoot superior boxing skills for me in these last 4 rounds. And she starts the round well, does Jonas, through a nice little combination right to the body and a left towards the head. And forward comes MAYER, but she's not doing anything as she does. And she tries to throw a left hand and a right hand, both of which were were blocked rather, by Jonas, who now backpedals onto the ropes on the far side. MAYER coming forward, still can't find any clean punches as she does so, and Jonas does well this time to tie her up. 1 or 2 people from the promotion side of this event are looking a bit uncomfortably in our direction and asking, how have you got it between rounds? And I think they were hoping that we were going to say that Jonas was right in it, but she's on the receiving end again here. Took some good headshots there from MAYER as I was making that point.
Yeah, she's digging deep here, Jonas just been caught by a big right hand. She's forced to hold on. You just sense MAYER's turning the screw. Jonas is the one. There's a desperate tide look about her. MIKAELA MAYER turning it on here.
And she comes forward again, MAYER walks into a left hand from Jonas and another one into the body. But is the greater punch output now coming from MAYER? Good work though off the ropes from Jonas. 2 body shots and the right to the head. And then MAYER turns her around, but walks into a solid left hand from Jonas, who's bullied back once more as MAYER comes on strong into the last 20 seconds of this round. And again, is she going to be able to turn the screw as the clock ticks down? Referee splits them. We're going to go into the Jonas corner and hear what Joe Gallagher makes of this in there and what sort of instructions he's going to give her, because the way I look at it, I think she most definitely has to win the last 3 rounds from here if she's going to hold on to her title. Let's hear in that corner, here's Joe Gallagher.
Alright? Okay, that was a very big round, that, Natasha. She came and you met her, she came and you met her. And at the end, you shut her down, alright? It was a big round, you didn't let her get that foothold. Alright, it took 1 or 2, but you push back on her, alright, okay? But keep her reaching, alright? She'll walk onto the shots, but keep her reaching that backhand, alright? And when you're up close, bang, bang, stay low. Bang, bang, stay low. Yeah, okay. And when she comes up high, catch her on the way out, alright? On your short shots as you're coming up, stay low. Yes? Okay, your head on the way out. Round 8.
He is one of British boxing's top cornermen and a great strategist, and he knows that his fighter, Natasha Jonas, had a better round there, but he didn't say how he thinks that he might have it, and I've got MAYER significantly ahead. But on our card, Jonas has got to do it all from here.
Yeah, Jonas needs a big 3 rounds here because MAYER just seems to be out-hustling now, outworking her. Good work here. Start of the 8th round. Jonas lands a good left hand. Right hook over the top. MAYER stalking forward, pushing forward, hands held high. Body shots, head shots going in. Both girls want it so bad here.
And it is MAYER who physically looks stronger and lands a big left hand there. It rocks back the head of Jonas, who now has to hold on herself. Is she going to be able to do as Joe Gallagher suggested? She needs to dominate from here, but she's not doing right now. It's MAYER who looks the stronger and is working away, throwing more punches. Jonas, left hand, right hand, but her head is rocked back again by a solid right from MAYER, who walks her down. Those punches coming from Jonas as well. Tremendous action here in this 8th round. Goes this way and then that. Both of them landing flat-out punches, really going for it, and now they hold on, no doubt, feeling increasingly towards exhaustion because of what is being produced.
Great round here from Natasha Jonas. Head shots, body shots going in. MAYER's answering them, coming back at her, but Jonas has found the second wind. She's landing some good shots. Terrific round here. Both girls trading blow to blow. 20 seconds left.
And who's going to take these last 20 seconds? Can still one or the other catch the judge's eyes? Good right hand from MAYER. Jonas backpedaling away from danger, throws a right hook into the body, and then looking very tired, holds on. The referee says don't hold, and it's MAYER who lands 1, 2, 3 solid shots right the way up to the bell, and what a terrific round that was. Both of them giving everything. Did Jonas do enough to take it? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think she did do enough to take it. I think overall Jonas was the one who was probably landing the better shots, gritted her teeth, bit down on her gum shield, but MAYER was coming back, answering blow for blow. I mean, I said it earlier on in the commentary, Al Mitchell talking about this fight being a female version of Hagler Hearns. You're looking at him thinking he's trying to bump it up, he's trying to build it, but guess what? He was right. He was right. Catman, help me out here, my man. Help me out.
You're in the moment, son. You're in the moment. You're getting giddy. It's a cracking fight, though, pal. Let me tell you. These girls are absolutely putting it on the line. This is what best versus best looks like. It's a sensational piece of entertainment for the people that have bought a ticket and are listening to us here on talkSPORT. Natasha Jonas has to win these next 2 rounds.
It's our main event, Natasha Jonas against MIKAELA MAYER, as we go into the 9th round. Jonas needs to really go and fight as she never has before if she's going to retain her title. Great left hand from Jonas. She took one as she threw it, but she threw the harder punch of the 2 and then goes to work to the body. She's straining with every sinew. MAYER comes back, throws a right hand into the body, blocked by Jonas, who tries to respond. Jonas gloves up high now, just taking a foot off the pedal for a moment, waiting to see if MAYER's going to commit herself, looking for the opportunity to counter, maybe, with a big left hand. MAYER looking for her, but unable to find big shots. Good defensive work from Jonas.
Yep, blood streaming now from Natasha Jonas is under her left eye. She's feeling the pace here. She's biting down. Good left hand goes in. Jonas bites down. Pushes MIKAELA MAYER. MAYER comes back, body shot of her own. This action is insane here. 9th round. Both girls are putting it all on the line.
A little bit of that damage under the left eye is not affecting her vision, though, I don't think. Here comes MAYER again. She remember when she lost to Alice Baumgartner in 2022 on a split decision. She believed then that she was on the wrong end of that decision, and there's a great right hand in there that time from Jonas. But forward comes MAYER again, who has the look about her tonight that she is not prepared to be denied. But Jonas turns the fighter and it's an attack of her own, and the crowd are in there with her. Absolutely willing, Natasha Jonas, in every moment of the remainder of this fight. Last 10 seconds of the night of the fight, and of the round rather, and Jonas on the receiving end again as we come up towards the bell, and we're going to go into the red corner as Jonas goes back there. Is this going to be the last advice that she gets to be a champion or losing a title?
I pushed. Alright, I told you to be composed. She came out, got caught with a hook. Alright, round 10. She's got to come with everything. Alright, but listen to me. Be cute. Be cute. As she's coming towards you, step to her, hold her.
That's your last round, yeah.
Step to her, hold her, and stop her working. Alright, okay? Yeah. And get your chin down. Alright, you're letting having 3 shots downstairs. Alright, cheer, mate. Yeah. Last round, she's got to come with hell here now, Natasha. Hands tight, hands tight. You're landing good shots. Punch and bump. And stop coming there. You're leaving yourself open there. Don't throw that, you're there like that. Don't throw it, alright? Straight arrows. She's coming with her head over front foot. Jamie, straight arrows.
Howard Foster, the referee, had to come and slap Joe Gallagher on the back and say, come on, get out of the ring, we've got 2 minutes to go. And here we are, into the last round, and she has to find the round of her life, Natasha Jonas. You heard her trainer say that was what was required. She has to give her hell. Is she able to do so?
Listen, that's what she needs to do. Listen to the crowd. The crowd says it all. This has been a top quality fight. Both girls have gone at it toe to toe. We're getting much of the same here in the 10th round. This could be closer. MIKAELA MAYER could be 1 up, could be 2 up. Jonas needs a big round. Could we get the draw? MIKAELA MAYER landing big shots.
And she's going looking for her as Jonas holds on and ties her up. There's blood coming from her nose, from a cut underneath her left eye, and she catches MAYER on the way in, but MAYER comes steaming forward and lands a solid right hand. There's a look of huge determination in the American, as much as to say, I will not be denied this time. I will not let the judges take this one away from me. And she's on top in this last round and lands 2 more big shots. And as you look at the faces of the 2 fighters, it's the face of Jonas which shows the bruises of battle, and we move now to the last 40 seconds.
Yeah, both girls putting it all on the line, leaving it all in the ring. What a contest from the opening bell. MIKAELA MAYER pushing forward as Jonas, stuck in the red corner. Jonas now looking desperately tired. The left eye swelled up. She's just taken a deep gulp of air. She's in big trouble here.
There are still people who watch and listen to boxing on television and on the radio who say, women's boxing, nah. I tell you what, if you've watched or listened to this tonight, you know that it's not like that one little bit. Up towards the final bell now, 2 of them throwing punches right the way there, and now embrace, wreathed in smiles, and that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, was something very special indeed. A tremendous fight. We always thought it was going to be so. On our cards, we reckon that the American MIKAELA MAYER has taken that title, but what a brave, brave effort from Natasha Jonas. It comes down to the 3 judges, of course, but for me, I have to say that MIKAELA MAYER has done enough to take this title.
Yeah, I just lean towards MIKAELA MAYER as well there. Jonas, what an incredible contest. Both girls putting on the line. MIKAELA MAYER done what she said she was going to do. She was going to take Natasha Jonas into a dogfight, draw her into the trenches. Jonas boxing on the outside, left hands through the middle, right hooks over the top, with a consistent pressure from MIKAELA MAYER. For me, has just won it.
The crowd are giving a phenomenal reception. Natasha Jonas, hopeful. MIKAELA MAYER, exactly the same. Joe Gallagher looked across towards us. I've known Joe for goodness knows how many years, since the old days of the Champs Gym down there on South Manchester, where he still runs his stable of boxers to this day, and where Natasha Jonas trains. And he was sort of looking across and saying, well, how have you got it? What do you think? And I'd have loved to have put my thumb up and said, I think Natasha Jonas has taken it. But in all honesty, I can't do that. I think if she gets this one, she's going to be fairly grateful to the judges giving her a decision. The crowd, of course, there'll be many, many who are standing around the ring here who will believe that she's done enough and that she'll keep her title. But what a phenomenal contest it was. Big Mo has got the score sheet in his hand now. The two fighters are side by side with referee Howard Foster, Natasha Jonas to the right, MIKAELA MAYER to the left, and we're about to get the results from the big MC. Who's it to be? Has Jonas kept the crown, or will it be changing hands?
After 10 full championship rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for the official decision. Judge Frank Lombard sees it 96-94 Jonas. Judge Diana Drews-Milani sees it 97-93 Mayer. And Judge Michael Alexander sees it 96-95, declaring your winner by split decision. And still, the IBF welterweight champion of the world, Natasha Jonas.
Well, Natasha Jonas, via a split decision, keeps the IBF welterweight crown. She can count herself incredibly lucky at certain points in that fight, because MIKAELA MAYER threw the kitchen sink at her. She absolutely had moments in every single round in Natasha Jonas. But for me, watching that fight, I thought MIKAELA MAYER did enough in large percentages to steal the large percentage of that fight. I thought 97-93 was a very fair reflection of what I've just witnessed. But you can't begrudge Natasha Jonas getting that reception, that victory in front of her home fans, Spence.
Listen, that was a great contest. You know, we get drawn in, we're watching it. There's subjective scoring. We know a lot of those rounds were close rounds. That's the argument we're having about 2-minute rounds. Difficult to separate them. I actually thought, you know what? Beginning of this one, this is possible. This could be a draw. It literally went down to the wire. That's where it went. It went Natasha Jonas's way. Well, guess what? Had it been on this in the States, it probably would have gone MIKAELA MAYER's way. That's the way it rolls, man. It was a close fight, well contested, and it went Jonas's way. We've still got our world champion, two-weight world champion, Natasha Jonas. The fairy tale continues.
She's getting an unbelievable reception from the home fans. They're obviously incredibly happy. And she absolutely needed them tonight. Certain moments in that fight, she was bang up against it. And the crowd reacted in order to roar her through those difficult times. Just a penny for the thoughts of MIKAELA MAYER, because she threw the kitchen sink at that tonight. And I thought for a large percentage of that fight, she was absolutely cleaner, absolutely more effective. And she finished the round so strong. I thought that might have just swayed the judges' scorecards.
Yep, she'd be bitterly disappointed with that. And guess what? The first words coming out of her mouth will be, let's do it again. She'll feel that she pressed that. She'll feel like she outworked Jonas. Do you go for the better work from Jonas, which was the more effective stuff on the outside? Left hands through the middle, right hooks over the top, or the workhorse and the work ethic coming from MIKAELA MAYER. That's what we lent towards. That's what we felt. That's what we felt. But it went Jonas's way, and guess what? I'm pleased, because the girl deserves it. She's been there 15 years. She's been working at this. 15 years, and she's reaping the benefits now. Good luck to her. What a performance. John Rawling, what a contest.
Yeah, it was a great contest. It was terrific. But I have, had we been commentating with American eyes and looking at that fight, I think we'd have been staggered that it hadn't gone the way of MAYER. You know, I mean, I love Natasha Jonas. I think she's a terrific lighter. She's great for boxing, and rightly, she's hugely admired up here in my Merseyside. But she can consider herself to be fortunate to have got a little bit of a hometown decision.
Listen, like I said, when the scorecards came out and we heard 97-93 in favour of MIKAELA MAYER, I absolutely supported that. I personally had it 96-94 in MIKAELA MAYER's favour, because Natasha Jonas did absolutely win rounds. There's no doubt about that. I'm not talking that this is ridiculous regarding the scorecards, but what I am saying is that MIKAELA MAYER, for me, wins at least 6 of those phases. And I know it's very difficult to score with it being 2-minute rounds, and I know that obviously you've got to block out the crowd and all that, but MIKAELA MAYER can count herself very unlucky tonight.
Yep, definitely. You know, look, we went MIKAELA MAYER's way. We felt she nicked it. I'm with you, Catman. I went 96-94, MIKAELA MAYER. But like I say, listen, subjective scoring, man. That's the way it goes sometimes. I'm pleased for Natasha Jonas because she gives it so much. You know, she's a role model for these kids of the city of Liverpool.
Not in doubt.
And it went her way. Yes, we've seen it. She was fortunate, but you know what? That's the way it goes.
Listen, what I will absolutely say about both those girls is that, and I think Natasha's kind of just reflecting on this right now, it does take 2 to tango. We got a fantastic fight tonight because we put 2 of the very best fighters on the planet in the ring together, and they dished it out. They absolutely brought both of their A games.
And Adam, wouldn't you love to see it again?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just like I'd like to see, listen, I think Sandy Ryan got stiffed against Jessica McCaskill. They should absolutely run it back. Why not run these 2 back on this side of the draw, and then the winners can fight each other, because they've absolutely dished up something so entertaining this evening.
I think it's a very valid question. I'm not able to hear what's being said in the ring at the moment, but I think it's a very valid question. You know, did you really think you won that fight?
Yeah, well, it is a valid question. You know, there was a lot of that contest where she was on the wrong end, you know, of the punishment. She was taking a lot of combinations, a lot of stick, but she gritted her teeth. She stuck in there, and she grinded it out. Listen, we're all in the same, camp here. I think MIKAELA won the fight. I think MIKAELA MAYER won the fight.
But this is on the judges, it's not on Natasha. This is not slight on Natasha at all.
Absolutely not.
She's thrown the kitchen sink at that. She's given everything.
Listen, that was one of the fights, you know, that will be a fight of the year contender. You're looking for entertainment, you're looking at people putting on the line. These 2 girls delivered tonight. That was first class. When you see a contest that much like that, you'd like to see it a draw, because no one deserves to lose that contest.
Hopefully in a moment or two, Ali Drew's going to be speaking to Natasha Jonas. We'll try and get a few words from the current IBF welterweight champion. It'd be nice as well to see if we can hear from MIKAELA MAYER, who absolutely threw the kitchen sink at that tonight. I've no doubt that she's a little bit crestfallen, but there's no shame in the performance that she put in tonight. And she's absolutely announced herself at 147 pounds. No point in going back down to 135, because she is sensational at welterweight. She threw the kitchen sink at Natasha Jonas. But on the judges' scorecards, official scorecards, coming up short with a split decision loss. She's just finishing her in-ring interviews as we speak right now, Natasha Jonas, and as I said, we'll try and get to grip with her very, very shortly and get a little bit of a conversation with her. She's got lipstick all over her face. I think her mum's just been in the ring kissing the side of her face, and why not? It is a family affair, and it's. You mentioned it earlier on, Spence. Listen, she's been a wonderful servant to the game of amateur and professional boxing. For her to have a moment in front of home fans, these people came out for her this evening, and for them to have that moment all together is something that she'll remember for the rest of her life.
Absolutely. Listen, like I said to you, this was a legacy fight. This was about the best fighting the best, and that's what we saw there. It went Tash's way in a tough, close contest. That was top class, that was, and I'm pleased that she got it, and I'm pleased it went her way, because the girl deserves it. You know, she absolutely deserves it. She's an inspirational young lady who's delivered a top class performance there.
MIKAELA MAYER now just addressing the in-house system, obviously incredibly disappointed. doesn't have a mark on her face, Spence. With all due respect to her, doesn't have a mark on her face.
No, she doesn't. You know, you can see that she's bitterly disappointed there. With that, the corner bitterly disappointed as well. She's taking it graciously, to be fair to her. You know, she's being very diplomatic with her words and, you know, sort of going well there, but you can see there that's a face of a woman that believes she won that contest.
Getting a few messages from a few people that obviously watch that fight at home and listen to us on talkSPORT. With our commentary, but they've actually seen the pictures themselves because of the courtesy of Sky Sports. And a lot of people, it seems, in agreement with us on commentary this evening that MIKAELA MAYER very unlucky not to have a hand raised. Listen, it's a close fight on scorecards. Tash got a 96-94, a 96-95, so that's what, 5-4 and 1 split on one of the scorecards, and a 97-93 in favour of MIKAELA MAYER. So it was a split decision. And I think, listen, once the dust settles on this, and I'm sure people will actually look back at this fight as an absolute firecracker to kick off 2024. You're going to have to go something to beat that. And I think the general conclusion will be do it again.
Absolutely. Listen, Catman, who wouldn't pay to see that? You could do that again. I tell you what, you would do this arena twice. That was entertainment. That was top-class entertainment. It's going to go something, to be totally honest, to beat that fight like that in 2024. I mean, both girls delivered there what they said they was going to deliver. First class. Congratulations to both ladies there, because that was brilliant.
Let's see if we can get a quick word with Natasha Jonas. Oh, she got towards the crowd. Let's see if we can get MIKAELA MAYER. Ali, get in there, get that microphone in their faces. Chase them, kid. Chase them down the aisles. That's what we want. We want to see if we can speak to some of those combatants that have obviously just participated in the fight. They've legged it. They've legged it, this seems. Hopefully we'll get some type of correspondence from them on next week's Fight Night show. Listen, you can tell with the way that she addressed the crowd there, MIKAELA MAYER. Very, very disappointed with the way that result obviously played out, and rightfully so. But from a Natasha Jonas point of view, who's gone back to TV, hopefully we'll get her very, very shortly once she's had the conversation with the TV channel. For me, she was on the wrong end of a decision against Terry Harper. Tonight she's on the right end of a decision.
That's what I'm saying, it goes that way, man, you know what I mean? You look at it and you go, look at her, she pushed Katie Taylor to the wire, losing that split decision for the undisputed lightweight titles. Terry Harper, a fight that she won there in the matchroom headquarters. I think they were in lockdown at that time. She won that fight quite convincingly to me. Didn't go her way. You know, the boxing gods were with her tonight. She deserved it. It's gone against her before. She deserved it to go that way. Of course, we felt, you know, MIKAELA MAYER was, you know, slightly unlucky. She should have got the nod. But that's the boxing, you know, it's subjective scoring. You know, and I just think what we got there was first class. Both girls really did deliver, and let's see it again, man. If there's controversy surrounding it, let's see it again.
It's a mad game, this sport, isn't it? It's a mad game, because, let's be honest, when it comes to the scoring criteria, there isn't a universal scoring criteria. As you've just mentioned there regarding subjectivity, you've got WBA, you've got IBF, you've got WBO, WBC, they've all got their own different rules of what these judges are actually looking out for. I personally look at clean, effective work, scoring shots, head, body, who's doing more of that. Then you've obviously got to take into consideration damage, who's doing the most amount of damage. I just personally thought this evening that MIKAELA MAYER was the person that was landing the more cleaner, effective work. Tasha had moments in every single round, completely get that. But the cleaner, effective, more damaging shots for me absolutely were coming from the American, and she's very unlucky not to get herself a hand raised this evening and be walking off as a two-weight world champion.
Yeah, totally agree with everything you just said there, and sort of echo that really. It was just one of those, but what we did witness, as I keep saying, was an unbelievable contest where both girls left it all in the ring. John Rawling, to bring you in on this one, I think that, you know, you felt that MIKAELA MAYER done enough to win that contest, but it was a great fight, John.
Well, I did, but I mean, I also said in the closing stages of the commentary, you know, I mean, there are people who are listening now who would say, women's boxing, it's not, you know, it's not the real deal, it's not as good. You know, if you'd sat and watched that, or sat and listened to us tonight, I promise you, we're not play acting. We're not trying to build it up to be something it's not. You know, we've been doing this for a hell of a long time, Spenny, and you do what's in front of you, talk about what's in front of you. You do your notes, you do your thoughts about how it might go and all the rest of it, but then you react on what you're seeing and what's playing out in front of you. And that was a really high quality, well-matched fight by any sort of criteria. The two of them should be proud of it, and again, I think women's boxing has really been a winner.
Absolutely. Listen, John, anyone that thinks that that was not a top-class contest needs to give their head a wobble. That was top class, and that's where I'm going with it, staying with it. And guess what, Catman? Let's do it again. I want to see it again.
I was impressed by both girls. Absolutely, let's do it again, because Natasha Jonas comes out in that first round, lovely feet, nice fast hands, and you think to yourself, hang on a minute, we're going to get a boxing lesson here against the elite 147 and a person that's just stepping up to this weight that's maybe not at this speed as of yet. You've got to be impressed with MIKAELA MAYER and the way that she comes out for that second round. She was absolutely sensational, the way she turned that fight on its head by just front foot pressure and letting those hands go.
Mate, tactically she had it spot on, you know, when she answered, it was all the ifs, buts, maybes. Could she step up from 130 to 147? Would she carry the strength? You know, would size be a big factor? Would Natasha Jonas be too heavy-handed? Well, guess what? She answered all the questions. She quickly, after the first round, you think, Jonas looks strong here. MIKAELA MAYER flips it on its head. Second round, goes out there, takes the fight away from Jonas and beats her at what she's doing best. She draws her into a dogfight, and that was very, very impressive. What a contest. You know, I'm absolutely blown away by the way these two girls performed, and I'd love to see it again.
I think we're going to get it again. Just the way that everything has finished at the end there, obviously there's a lot of respect between both of these fighters. Hopefully we'll get to speak to at least one of them before they head back to their locker rooms. And MIKAELA MAYER, who is a fan's favourite here in the UK, she's kind of an adopted Brit. She's fought here for the last two occasions. Obviously she's done lots of media, she works on the television broadcast as well. She's been a fantastic asset and a fantastic fighter to watch here on British soil, whatever weight division that she decides to fight at. And tonight she's absolutely acquitted herself as a top player at welterweight, 147 pounds. Obviously Lauren Price was in attendance this evening. She's alluding to the fact that maybe she's getting the showdown in Cardiff against one of the top girls, whether that be Sandy Ryan or Jessica McCaskill. That would be a bit of a coup and pretty sensational. But here we are. We've got we've got Natasha Jonas with Ali Drew. I'll come to you, Ali. Over to you.
Tasha, congratulations, and still, just sum up the emotions that you're feeling right now.
Just relieved, you know, happy, and all the bits in between. It's been a hard, long camp, and yeah, I had to dig in deep in part of that. She was tough. I knew she was going to be tough, and as I said from the beginning, fights like that bring out the best in me, because I have to step up, raise my game, and every time I'm asked to, I do.
You promised it to be an entertaining fight. It certainly was. Fight of the year contender for sure. When the bell went, did you think you'd done enough to get the decision? Because it was close on the scorecards.
Yeah, no, I mean, two to here, I thought was wild. I think I was a couple up going into the end, and then I sorry, it was getting close in the middle, but then I thought I'd run away with it in the end. So I thought the last couple of rounds got me.
What was the game plan going in there? After the first few rounds, was she bringing what you were expecting?
Yeah, and like I say, I just, you know, I got a little bit complacent, got a bit greedy, and she was catching me with shots, and then I was getting frustrated, and then, you know, you play into her hands a little bit, but Joe was saying, keep calm, keep collected, and just box, be sensible and box, and yeah, I had to dig in deep.
You both had to give it everything in there. The instructions from Joe going into the final round was give it hell, just give it everything.
Yeah, and that's what I did, I believe I did, so.
How good was it to have the homecoming, the crowd were wild in here. It was electric, it was deafening at points during that fight.
Yeah, I always knew it was going to be, you know, that's what they say is home advantage, and like I say, I've been celebrated, recognised and supported by the people of this community, and even when, you know, times are tough, people are still spending the money to come out and support the local boxers.
Now, MIKAELA said that she didn't have the rematch clause for her, but is that something you'd want to rerun again?
Listen, if that's what people want to see, we can. It's definitely an option. But like I said on another interview, like I'm on limited time. I've only got so many big nights and big fights left in me, and you know, I needed to win tonight to keep them doors open and to keep them opportunities open. I went out and did that, and you know, we'll look at all the options and we'll choose the best one for me.
How are you going to top tonight?
Lord only knows. That's Ben's job. That's Ben's job.
Well done, Tasha.
Cheers, thank you.
Natasha Jonas there speaking to Ali Drew ringside. Congratulations to her. She got the decision over the judges. Split decision victory over MIKAELA MAYER this evening, holding on to her IBF welterweight crown. There's lots of options for her now. Of course, we as fight fans would absolutely love to see that again, because they've dished up one. I'm sure they can dish up part two, and MIKAELA MAYER absolutely deserves to be at the top table. But there's Sandy Ryan in this weight division, there's Jessica McCaskill in this weight division, and I'm sure Natasha, as she said, she's on borrowed time, being 39 years of age, she'll be wanting to unify.
Absolutely, listen, that's what it's all about now. Legacy fights, boxing the best, you know. Of course we want to see MIKAELA MAYER again. What a contest, but there's other big fights out there. Sandy Ryan, an all-British showdown. What a fight that would be. You know, I'd love to see that. Jessica McCaskill, you know, I think that's a great fight as well. But listen, what we just witnessed there was something insane. There's controversy now surrounding that on who people thought won. You know, was it the right decision? Well, look, what we got is a fantastic contest. I'd love to see it again. I'd love to see it rerun. That's the fight that I'd like to see again.
Top stuff. Gentlemen, absolute pleasure being in your company, and a pleasure to be in the company of Ali Drew. I think, oh yeah, she's still interviewing people, still grabbing people for our social media channel, so make sure that you're across everything that we've got on talkSPORT. What a sensational night of fighting. Sitting ringside at fights like that remind me exactly why I absolutely bloody love this game. What a tremendous fight. Both girls left a little piece of themselves with us this evening. Natasha Jonas takes a split decision over MIKAELA MAYER, but there's definitely a debate over those scorecards. So let's do it again, in the words of Spencer Oliver. Fight Night Live on talkSPORT delivers once more. In recent times, women have led the way in boxing, consistently making the best versus the best fights. Unifications and the crowning of undisputed has become the norm, which hopefully in 2024 will see the men follow suit. Tonight, a former champion from super featherweight makes a welterweight debut against a champion that is enjoying an Indian summer. The winner will go on to a big unification, but will it be power or guile that win the night? This is Fight Night Live on talkSPORT. Regarding the Catterall fight then, where are you thinking that this is going to take place? Spencer alluded to Saudi Arabia there, but it's a fight that has to happen on British soil, doesn't it?
That got put on the table and got put towards me, and I shut it down pretty much straight away. You know, everybody's jumping on the bandwagon and fizzing off over to Saudi Arabia to get some of that Saudi money. You know, and I don't think that's fair on the UK fans. I don't think that's fair on the fans back here and the fans that have supported me my whole career, and to then get a big fight and bugger off over there where a lot of people aren't going to be able to afford to go over there and watch me. So this is a UK fight. This is, and it needs to be in the UK. It needs to be in Scotland or down here somewhere. You know, it's got to be in the UK for the UK fans.
How much money will it take to get Kell Brook back in the ring, Ali?
Is it Chris Eubank Jr. you're going to come back out of retirement for?
Yeah, I think his name is there. His name, you know, he's the one what's getting talked about the most. You know, and it's a fight. You know, I don't like the guy. It's a fight that the fans are going to definitely get a treat from start to finish, from the build-up